presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Blackmon. We are so.
On another perfect Saturday night in Atlanta, it's time for Braves baseball. A big crowd gathering here at SunTrust Park for Game 2 of our 3-game weekend set between the Braves and the Colorado Rockies. Hi again, friends, along with Jeff Francoeur and Joe Simpson. Chip Carey, welcome back to the ballpark, where last night the Braves beat the Rockies by a final score of 5-2. And lately, fellas, the way the Braves swung the bats last night is reminiscent of how things went for Atlanta over the final 6 weeks last season. Top to bottom, the Braves' bats are starting to boom again.
A lot of offense going on right now, and it's not just one or two guys carrying the ball club right now, and that's always good to see. Ender Inciarte, the last couple of weeks, 357 average. He's still among the league leaders in hits for the season. Outstanding work. There's another guy who's just back from the disabled list, Matt Kemp. Big home run last night to get the Braves offense cranking. A 368 average since his DL stint, but there's some guys at the bottom of the order doing good work too, Jeff.
Yeah, these two catchers, I'll tell you what, between Flo and Kurt Suzuki, these guys have done an outstanding job this year. I think a lot of people were wondering how those two would do this year, and they've been, honestly, maybe one of the strongest parts of our team. And finally, Ozzie, you can tell he's getting more comfortable every day. It's tough. When you come up as a young guy, feel like there's a lot on you. You can see he's starting to make things happen. He's fast, and he's going to be something to look forward to years to come.
And starting to feel comfortable is something you could say about Sean Newcomb. He picked up a home win for the Braves last time out, 5 shutout innings against the Cincinnati Reds. He'll take aim at the Colorado Rockies in Game 2 as the Braves try to win the series outright with a victory tonight.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by your local Ford dealer and the Georgia Lottery.
Well, welcome back into SunTrust Park and Players Weekend as we lead you up to first pitch of Game 2 between the Rockies and the Braves. Players Weekend continuing all over the league as Sean Newcomb takes the mound for Atlanta. So hard to believe. He is already making his 14th start of the season, and he's looked pretty good recently. In his last 5 starts, check that out, a 3.04 ERA. Opponents only hitting .216 off of him. But that's not the only thing that's looking good, especially tonight, because Nuke is rocking some epic cleats honoring Braves legends, but we'll let him explain.
You know, mine, I just said kind of some throwback Braves players, you know, some of the people who have their numbers retired here, kind of just a little bit of a tribute to them and the history here. And it's Players Weekend, so I might as well put some players on my cleats. But yeah, pretty happy how they came out.
And who do you have on them, and why did you choose those guys?
I got to look at them because there's so many, but I got Hank Aaron over here, Andrew Jones, Chipper Jones, Dale Murphy, Phil Niekro on this cleat, and then on the other side of that cleat you got Maddox, Smoltz, Glavine, and then Bobby Cox in the background. I mean, pretty self-explanatory if you know anything about the Braves, that those are just some of the best players that came through, so, and their numbers are retired here, and they did a lot here, so I just wanted to kind of pay tribute to them. I'm pretty excited to wear these cleats. I didn't really expect them to be so extravagant, but they're definitely pretty sweet.
So if you try and tell us those aren't the coolest cleats you've ever seen in your life, you are lying. I hope you noticed the Nike swoosh was turned into a tomahawk chop. So Sean Newcomb will hope to build off of what he's been able to do recently and help lead the Braves to a series win versus the Rockies. But we're minutes away from first pitch. Chip Joe and Jeff Francoeur take it back with first pitch and starting lineups coming up right after the break.
Out to be a gorgeous Saturday night. It's the Braves and Rockies Game 2. Sean Newcomb goes back to work for Atlanta. Joe coming off a 5-inning shutout performance last time against the Reds.
2-7, a 4.13 ERA, but his work against arguably the best division in baseball that includes these Rockies, he's 1-1 with an outstanding ERA and opponent average against him. Hopefully he can continue that tonight. At Colorado, he went 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. Walked 4, but struck out 8. He gave up 3 solo homers in that game. His 4 keys to pitching success tonight, very simple. Number 1, walks. Walks, walks. His last 2 starts, 11 innings, 9 walks against 10 strikeouts. You can't walk a bunch of guys with the Rockies because they have too many home run hitters to follow. And Newcomb, absolutely, that's his nickname tonight. Use that fastball more and get after him.
He's going to face a Colorado lineup that's really slumping of late. The Rockies have lost 24 of their last 31 games on the road, and 22 of those times they've scored less than 3 runs. And Bud Black's Toyota starting 9 still features Blackmon, LeMahieu, Arenado, and Reynolds 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pat Valaika gets the start in left field. No Carlos Gonzalez with a left-hander on the mound, interestingly. We'll see how it works out as Newcomb's first pitch is a fastball to Charlie Blackmon, and we're underway. 81 delightful degrees at first pitch. Charlie Blackmon 1 for 3 last night. He left after 7 innings. Appeared to tweak something as he swung the bat.
Don't see too many guys grab their leg when they swing, but he did. Like a strained hamstring.
He lifts this ball down the left field line, and it is slicing into the stands and out of play. 1-2 the count.
You know, guys, you're talking about the slumping Rockies. Talked to a couple guys in the clubhouse today, and they were just saying that the confidence is down right now, and that they feel, some of these guys feel only top 4 or 5 in the lineup. After that, they're saying it's not much to get out of there.
1-2 for Blackmon, and a breaking ball fouled away. Well, if they're starting to slump, they're starting to slump at a real bad time, because Colorado is now a game and a half behind Arizona for the top wild card spot. Milwaukee's 3.5 back, Miami 4.5 back for the number 2 wild card position.
You talked about it last night, though, Jeff, that you look at Carlos Gonzalez's numbers and you wonder what is going on with him. If they could just have him get hot the last month of the season, everybody forget about what happened up to that point.
You know, a lot of people don't know, you know, he got offered a contract extension back in March,
right? Which
I'm imagining was for some good money, and he's going to have to end up signing a 1-year deal.
That's tipped and caught by Blackmon. 6 pitches, retires the Rockies leadoff hitter, and Newcomb has his first strikeout.
And he nuked him with a breaking ball. Over the top of it goes Blackmon. 1 for 4 last night before he got hurt.
Here's LeMahieu. DJ LeMahieu, the Colorado second baseman, 1 for 4, an infield hit. Game 1 last night, and that's off the plate, ball 1. LeMahieu batting .312 on the year, 4 homers, 53 knocked in. Former Cub. The Rockies got in a trade with Chicago that involved Ian Stewart, who was a terrific third baseman with the Rockies, but just never figure things out with the Cubs. So the Rockies long-term won that trade. LeMahieu, a terrific second baseman and a perfect number 2 hitter in their lineup, behind Blackmon and in front of Arenado.
Terrific at hitting the ball to right field and right center.
This one's hit towards short. Dansby charges and fires to first in time. 2 away. Here's Nolan Arenado. Rare to see this guy take an offer. He did, however, last night. And snapped his 9-game hitting streak.
Let's give him a couple more offers, then he can do whatever he wants.
Exactly right. Arenado at .310 on the year, 29 homers. And don't just think this guy feasts at Coors Field. He hits them everywhere. 15 homers at home, 14 homers on the road. Well, the Colorado third baseman, who's happy he won't have to see Julio Teheran the rest of this year. Julio just carved him up again last night. Newcomb trying to do the same. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Fastball, good life on his fastball. Julio standing there with Johan Camargo. We saw him in the cage today taking batting practice. That's a good sign.
ball, 2 strikes. And Margo's been out with a bone bruise. Hopefully he'll be back in the early days of September. The pitch is downstairs, and Arenado has a 2-2 count coming. Sean, the one thing you always have to be concerned about is his pitch efficiency. As Joe said, he has walked a lot of guys and he has struck out a lot of guys. That drives your pitch count up. It's been a struggle for him to get deep into the game with less than 100 pitches.
That was a good pitch.
Fouled off Flowers. Arenado's still alive. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Sean's been averaging about 18, almost 19 pitches per inning since putting on a big league uniform with the Braves.
I remember when he came to big league camp last year, his first start. I want to say he threw 20, 30 balls out of about 35 pitches. And the next start he comes out there and he thinks he strikes out the side.
Arenado shoots one toward the gap in right center. Diving try. Markakis can't get it. It's up against the wall. Arenado around second is going to stop there. And he's got a 2-out double here in the top of the first.
Good at bat by Arenado and almost a great catch by Nick. 39 doubles. Like he took a little off there, and Arenado's still on it. Oh, almost got it. But 2 out in the inning.
So Mark Reynolds, the Colorado first baseman, digs in. Reynolds has 5 hits against the Braves this year. 3 of them have left the ballpark, including a 7th inning homer last night. He's hit 27 homers, his most since 2011 when he hit 37.
I guess Nick doesn't play a lot of golf, or he would replace that divot.
Yeah. Need to get Ed out there.
Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ed Mangan, of course, the Braves head groundskeeper here, who, as Joe said so famously a couple of years ago, names each blade of grass.
They're his friends.
One ball, 1 strike. Popped up. And Freddie Freeman is Johnny on the spot. Newcomb gets out of the first inning with 20 pitches. Colorado strands Arenado. And the Braves go to work against Kyle Freeland next. SunTrust Park. See Philip Fulmer, the former head coach of Tennessee, Charles Alexander, and Tommy Frazier here. Big night. College football season opened up today.
Did you do that on purpose?
What's that?
Leave out Tom Brahaney from the University of Oklahoma.
I just wanted to make sure you're awake over there, buddy.
We don't really count Oklahoma around these parts.
You've heard of it, though, right? 7 national championships.
Here we go, folks. Kyle Freeland takes the mound for Colorado here in the first.
This guy's good. He's leading the baseball in wins by a rookie ERA and has a 56% ground ball percentage. That's 3rd best in this league, 4th overall. Low 90s fastball, good slider that he will also make act like a cutter. Good stuff.
And as we noticed out in Colorado, he is Clayton Kershaw light with his pause, little toe tap in the delivery.
You really got to be ready because of that toe tap, and the ball gets on you really, really quick.
Back to the mound, and Freeland's got it. And Ender's retired to start the Braves' first inning.
He's also got long arms. As you just saw, 24 years old, 6'4", 200-pounder. He was a #1 pick by the Rockies in 2014, the same draft that produced Sean Newcomb. Freeland was the 8th pick, and he's from the Denver metropolitan area, which is great for their fan base.
So Brandon Phillips batting second on the Braves Toyota starting lineup. Pretty much the standard order. Tyler Flowers gets the starting assignment behind the plate for Kurt Suzuki. Everybody else in their normal spot. As Brandon Phillips closing in on 2,000 hits. Takes a strike. He's 7 away now. And needs 13 runs for 1,000 in his career. And a line drive over third for Phillips with 1 out. So it's free land versus free man here in the first.
It's a great piece of hitting right there. The ball's in off the plate.
So quick.
Freddie Freeman bats for the first time tonight. And he jumps all over the first one and lines into a double play. Reynolds, Johnny on the spot, makes the grab, steps on the bag, and that'll do it in the Atlanta first. 3 up, 3 down very quickly. We go to the second inning. Now Freeland got some help from Mark Reynolds.
And the Braves as we head into the second inning, and Lane Adams has become one of the primary guys to come off the bench. He also probably has one of the best nicknames for Players Weekend in LA Swiftness. Now his thank you patch is to his mom. Well, there's a good story behind that. His sophomore year of high school, he was coming back from a tournament and said that he wanted to quit baseball and focus on basketball. So his mom responded by driving him towards Sonic and told him, hey man, if you don't want to play baseball, you better get a job. And Chip, Joe, and Jeff, I think that paid off because Lane Adams is up in the big leagues right now doing a pretty good job at it too.
Everybody would rather play baseball than work for a living.
Right.
I enjoy a chili cheese coney though.
With a cherry limeade.
Yeah, why not?
Tough to beat a cherry limeade on a hot day as Gerardo Parra leads off. And Newcomb gets ahead of him with a quick strike. Parra batting .344 for the year. Ouch. Oh, you could hear him yelling almost before that ball hit him. He knew there was no way to get out of the way, so Parra is hit by a pitch and leads off the second in a painful way. He'll make his way to first base in front of Trevor Story, the shortstop.
Hopefully it got that elbow guard.
Yep.
Well, those things have really saved a lot of guys.
So Story, the Colorado shortstop, he's hit 18 homers. Takes a little low, ball one. He's been a tough out for the Braves. 6 hits, 3 of them homers against Atlanta pitching. And a big game August 16th out at Coors Field. He knocked in 6 runs against the Braves out at Coors Field. RBI single, a 2-run homer, and a 3-run homer in that game. One pitch, lifted toward right, pretty well hit. Markakis 3 steps onto the warning track is going to have room. Parra's going to tag, and he's going to advance ahead of the throw. Good base running. Parra moves up on the deep fly to right.
Good base running by Parra. From that depth of a fly ball, you have the luxury of taking off, and if you don't think you're going to make it, you can go back first base. Got time to turn around.
Yeah, and I think that ball just kept floating a little bit too on Nick.
So here's a spot where the Rockies have been having their troubles on the road. Last 17 games, they're hitting .209 as a club with runners in scoring position. That is not at all like the Colorado Rockies team we saw out in Denver. They're 0 for 1 with Risp so far tonight. LaCroix will take a crack at Newcomb here with Parra at second and 1 out.
Had a chance to visit with Jonathan Lucroy today in their clubhouse. What a likable guy he is.
Terrific pickup for the Rockies and Lucroy, who can handle this young but very talented Rockies pitching staff. Staff that features 3 rookie starters with 10 or more wins, something that's never ever happened before in the Rockies franchise history. And one of those double-digit winners is the man on the mound tonight, Kyle Freeland.
Yeah, Lucroy kind of struck some luck last year. Goes from last place team Milwaukee to Texas, goes to playoffs, and now he's back with probably another playoff team this year.
That's a strike. 3-1 the count.
Did a nice job after Texas got him too. He had 11 homers, 31 RBIs in just 47 games.
Full count.
And a good curveball.
What's the saying? If you're going to throw a 3-1, you might as well throw a 3-2.
Sure thing.
That's fouled away right side. LaCroix stays alive. It's 3-2. Ball 4. So a hit batsman and a walk in the second inning. Brings up Pat Valaika. Keep an eye on Newcomb. Already 12 pitches here in the second inning after a 20-pitch first inning.
We were joking before the game about Pat Valaika coming up after his great at bat last night. Charlie Blackmon goes 0-2 and he has to come in for one pitch.
Yeah, but that strikeout wasn't charged to him. It went to Blackmon.
It's Blackmon's, but still. That's tough coming off the bench like that, especially, what was it, the 8th inning?
Yep.
Yeah.
No balls and a strike for Valaika. He's got 11 homers. And up and away. 1-1 your count. Sharply hit up the middle, a base hit. Parra's going to come around third. He's going to score without a throw. And the Rockies cash in the hit batsman. They take a 1-0 lead here in the second. So a much needed hit for Colorado with runners in scoring position. And Valaika has 34 RBIs.
Nice swing on the fastball. Nice player to come off your bench with 11 homers and now 34 RBIs. You're not allowed in their lineup unless you've got at least 11 homers, or E.J. LeMahieu, who won a batting title. That's the other prerequisite.
Even their pitcher's got a bomb. This guy.
Yeah.
And a 178 average.
It's fun watching Colorado hit, especially at home, but they'll never be anybody like, what was it, that 95 team with Bichette, Larry Walker, Benny. So much fun watching those guys launch them.
Unless you're pitching. Right? Blake Street Bombers. One ball, no strikes. Freeland lays down a bunt that will trickle foul, and it's an even count. We were told out in Colorado when Freeland was drafted, he actually wept out of joy that he got a chance to play for his hometown team. He went to Thomas Jefferson High School in the metropolitan Denver area, then went to the University of Evansville. 8th overall pick in the first round in 2014. I'm sure there are many a pitcher who has been drafted by the Rockies who have wept not out of joy when they get their name called, knowing the historical pitching issues that they have had there.
He's embraced it apparently, because I'll tell you what, anybody that's 11-8 with a 3 out in Colorado, you're doing something. 1
ball, 1 strike. That's pitches right there. 1-2. I would think pitching in high school at altitude would help him as a professional. He's got some work to do here. A ball and 2 strikes. And he went around. Snap throw back to second. Save. And just back was Lucroy. A try by Tyler Flowers. Freeland strikes out. Can't advance the runners. And we go back to the top of Charlie Blackmon.
I think more guys get picked off on missed bunt attempts than any other play. Good try by Dansby to block the bag, but couldn't keep his hand from getting in there. But you're bouncing off, getting ready to try to advance on the bunt, and when the guy bunts right through it, you're almost dead meat.
I tell you what makes it tough too, though. It seems like every year the infield guys, first and third, just start creeping up. One of them, and they're right there on the plate. I'd almost want to tell my guys, pull it back and take a swing. Because that's half the problem. The guy at second base is saying, oh my, I'm going to get thrown out at third if I don't get off the bag.
True.
Charlie Blackmon's hit in 18 of his last 20 games against the Braves. 174 hits for the Rockies this year. And even more impressively, the 80 RBIs from a leadoff man.
In Colorado, there's no such thing as a leadoff man. Only one time.
Good point. Sharply hit to second, but Ozzy's there. And he'll make the throw to first to retire the side. Gerardo Parra led off with a hit by pitch. And he scores on Valleca's hit. 1-0 Colorado. Matt Kemp is coming up for the Braves in the second inning. Good looking group as we head to the home second inning. 1-0 Colorado has scored first. Matt Kemp's going to lead things off for the Braves. He's in scoring position every time he grabs a bat, and he's been swinging a hot bat, as you see in our Georgia Lottery feature.
These are the numbers since he came back from the disabled list. 3 RBIs, 2 last night on that home run in the first inning, his first at bat. And hitting the ball to right field too, which was so good to see earlier in the season.
I was talking about it on the pregame show, Joe, but regardless if he's hitting well, like which he is right now, it's big to have a righty in there to split up Freddie and Nick. And, you know, when he wasn't there, you had Matt in there, you had 3 lefties, and late in the game, you know, it's not what you want.
No, I think that was a very good point. and one that wasn't wasted on us, you know, watching Freddie. I think when Matt Kemp's not in there, Freddie sometimes expands his strike zone trying to do a little too much.
No doubt.
On ball, no strikes from Freeland. And that didn't get it. 1-1 count.
You know, we all play this game to hit. There's very few guys that can just go up there and leave the bat on the shoulder like Barry did.
Let's come back to face a team that historically he has feasted on. He has hit 42 career homers against the Rockies. That's most among all active players in the major leagues. Second on the list is Adrian Beltre, who has 28 of them. So a 14-homer lead over Mr. Beltre. And almost an RBI per game on average against the Rockies. Pitch. And the dirt evens it up.
That's pretty impressive when you think about Beltre being in the American League for the last several years.
One of the most underrated players of our time, for sure.
Cab hooks one past Arenado for a leadoff hit. I think we were all concerned last night after Matt had his last at bat of the 8th inning when he doubled and he came out of the game immediately. I was wondering if he'd be able to play today or if there was a flare up of the hamstrings. Apparently he's good to go again tonight.
Yeah, I think it bears watching though, Chip, just to see how he's moving, because those darn things can crop up at any time.
Snit probably told him, go get in the cold tub and relax. We'll put in a guy that's a little faster than you.
They sure did.
LA swiftness.
Lane Adams, right. Here's Markakis, lefty versus lefty, and he takes a ball. Rare offer for Nick last night. Hit the ball in the air 4 times. Once to left, once to right, twice to center.
Check out that bat. Or can you see it?
Yeah, we've talked about the special socks. We've talked about the funky uniforms, the catcher's gear. The players get to use personalized bats during Players Weekend.
I can see the handle. I just can't see the barrel. Nice camo.
Foul back. And the count 1-2. Carlos Gonzalez of the Rockies last night had a bat with a caricature of his face on the barrel. And Bud Black after the game said, well, I hope he get hit in the face about 3 times. And Gonzalez said, no, the nose, because that's on the sweet spot of the bat. Line drive by Markakis with 2 strikes. That is textbook Nick Markakis, isn't it? 2 on, nobody out.
2 straight sliders that he's given up hits on. That was more like a cutter. That one didn't have much sink to it. If you're sitting at home and you're a young player, that's how you accumulate 2,000 or more hits. Using the whole field.
That's how you stop an 0 for last night.
First chance he's had to reacquaint himself with Mark Reynolds, who I'm sure was his teammate in Baltimore for a little while. Nice gloves. Low.
Yeah, Tyler has gone all in on the Players Weekend, wouldn't you say?
He just needed to be cut loose.
Yeah, right. Shoes match the socks match the gloves. Nothing matches the bat.
Yeah, he's probably begging Snit to get back in there tomorrow.
Right?
They can't find me this weekend.
Yeah, he's probably got more gear.
Bouncing ball toward Arenado, who will step on the bag and throw off stride to first. And what a stretch by Reynolds. Pretty play. Flowers is doubled up. Kemp forced out at third base. Markakis to second with 2 outs.
A lot of help there from Reynolds. Nice play.
So the sheriff wasn't handcuffed on the throw. Nice. By Nolan Arenado.
Did you go home last night and work on your ad-libs?
Write them down before every game, Joe. A nice play by Reynolds. Here's Ozzie Albies. He's got his average up to 247. Jeff, I loved your comment about Ozzie. He does indeed look more comfortable at the plate.
He does, and I've been trying to think who he reminds me of. And I was thinking Rafael Furcal a little bit, as far as he's kind of a nice contact base hit guy, left-handed. Then he's got that, you know, pop from the right side. He's strong from the right side.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Braves called him up on August the 1st at the time of his ascension to the big leagues. He was the youngest player in the major leagues. Chance to bring Markakis home with 2 outs. And he launches that one to the right side and into the seats.
I remember from the right side, Fuki Rafael used to swing a 36, 34 and a half.
Did he really?
Thing was bigger than him.
That's a big bat these days.
He has 9 hits during his 6-game hitting streak. And he's got a 1-1 count. And taken upstairs. Braves are scoring their share of runs. They're averaging over 6 runs a game over the last 8 games played. A lot of extra base hits, a lot of home runs in that stretch. Run early here in the second. And a ground ball towards Story at short. He's going to load up and throw to first in time. And Freeland gets a couple of big ground balls to get out of second inning trouble and preserve a 1-0 lead. Park. Several members of the College Football Hall of Fame are with us tonight. And all you college football fans, it's that time of year. It's ACC Saturdays on South, presented by Ford. It kicks off a brand new season, and you can catch all the hard-hitting action starting next Saturday on Fox Sports Southeast and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. And one of those great members, the College Football Hall of Fame, is with us. Former coach of the Tennessee Volunteers, Philip Fulmer, is here. Welcome to SunTrust.
Thank you for having me. What a beautiful stadium. Wow.
Nice, huh?
Nice. And you guys got about the best view of all, right? Everything in front of you.
Not too shabby.
The 98 national champion Volunteers.
98 national champions. Yeah, we had a great football team then. You know, we just lost 12 guys to the NFL, and everybody picked us third in the
including
Peyton,
the East.
Right? Yep, Peyton had gone. 2 other first-rounders. Peyton had gone, and darn if we didn't, you know, pull it off. But we had 4 or 5 teams during that time that were pretty darn special. So, like this, I was just trying to get old Jeffrey here to think about coming back to Tennessee. We might need a quarterback, you know. He's got some eligibility
He's got some
left.
eligibility left.
I think I'm good to hold for extra points and field goals these days. That's about it.
I'm a little worried about the academic requirements. So
especially at Tennessee, right?
might want to think that over again. As DJ LeMahieu leads off. You recruited Jeff, didn't you?
I did. We tried to.
Yeah. What was that process like?
It was good. He's a heck of a football player and great qualifications and everything, you know. So he just chose to go another route, and I think he chose a good route for himself.
1 ball, 1 strike for LeMahieu. Colorado's second baseman up for the second time. He grounded out to shortstop.
Coach, what's going on with the festivities here for the College Hall of Fame?
Well, it's a big weekend, actually. The Hall of Fame has a group of us in tomorrow, and we have some festivities tomorrow, after a couple hours tomorrow evening, and then golf at East Lake with a bunch of the great sponsors that we have with the Hall of Fame, and that's always fun.
Get your rest.
Get your rest. Yeah, everything's uphill there. I don't get it, right?
It really is.
But great place, and it's a lot of fun to interact with the Hall of Fame people. It's just they're really special people, and to be so fortunate to have the Hall of Fame here in Atlanta.
Is there a better time of year for a football lifer like you than this weekend?
No, it's really not. Of course, I've spent the day down here up at the park in Cedartown with my grandson. We won a big tournament there, and then to get to come here tonight, and Tennessee gets to play here real soon in the new Mercedes building against I think a really good Georgia Tech team. So that's going to be exciting here in a week or so. So now, you know, you can kind of feel fall all of a sudden, and I've been out of it 10 years now, and you still have that urge to get started.
It's the anticipation, man. It kills you.
And then I get over it real quick. So right, it'll be better, Jeff. Right?
Yeah, you ain't lying.
Well, for folks who are in our part of the country, break down the SEC for us. What do you think is going to happen?
You know, you're sitting there looking at a great Alabama run that they're having, and it'll be hard to beat them. But I do believe the East will be better than it's been in the last 4 or 5 years. Florida will be better. Georgia will be better. I believe Tennessee will be better. Over on the other side, Auburn is, I mean, they've got a really fine quarterback that's transferred in there, and that's all they were really missing. So I hope we can make it more competitive. Somebody needs to get Alabama.
Well, I like what you said about my beloved Georgia Bulldogs.
My Clemson Tigers got it last year in the national championship.
No, but it's like the fans. That was last year, man.
Yeah, you're right.
So you mentioned Georgia Tech. This is big ACC country here in Atlanta with Georgia Tech and Paul Johnson. The job that they do, it's remarkable.
It is remarkable. Paul and I are great friends, have been for a long time, and what he's done, oftentimes with less, you know, talent and everything, with that style of offense, playing just enough defense to make it work, you know, but that style of offense, it'll just drive you crazy. And I know Butch Jones is very worried about bringing them in here. Plus, they beat you up. You know, they just get your legs all sore because they're cutting you all the time. And we got 2 big ball games, Georgia Tech and Florida, and I think Indiana State between, like in 10 days. I mean, it's all happening really fast for us.
So I got to ask you, you know, my wife went to Georgia. There's huge Georgia fans here.
Yeah.
What do they have to do?
Oh, what a play by Phillips, and he drops the ball. Couldn't make the play at second base. And Reynolds is going to get an infield hit.
You know, Coach Rick took a lot of flack for it, and of course Kirby last year, but you know, the SEC East has been kind of down, and it's just been Florida every year.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think Georgia has to do to get
they're
back?
saying the same thing in Knoxville.
Yeah, well, I know that.
We had our chances, and then we, you know, didn't quite finish the season like we wanted to. Hey, that's the way this conference is. It comes down to a play here, a play there. Who can stay healthy? We came through so many injuries last year. At the end of the year, we were giving up 700 yards a game in offense, and having to get 700 just to win games. You know, 52-50, and that's not really Southeastern Conference football. But Georgia is like all of us. You know, it comes back to those defensive linemen. You can say they've got quarterbacks, they've got all this, they've got great running backs, but it comes back. Can the defensive front 7 hold up for a long stretch?
I've heard people tell me that about Bama, so that's why they're so good, because every year that front 7's the best in the country.
Well, it's not. It's the front 11, because they roll them. They roll them, and you know, you can play 30 plays a whole lot better than you can play 60 plays. you know, in a ball game, and they've got a guy that's second team just as good as the first teamer, and you know, the first teamer plays 40, you played 30, and we got a youngster in there that's going to play 10 more. He's going to be an All-American one day too.
So
that's how they've done it.
So you're saying it's not really about the coaching at
No, it's coaching, it's playing, it's developing, it's all those
It's
things.
recruiting.
And Alabama has it going on from top to bottom. I mean, everybody's on the same page.
Fly ball by Parr to center. And Ender's going to make the catch. No advance. Coach, you won the national championship. Clemson's coming off a national championship. What's the biggest challenge as a Division I football coach the year after a national championship?
Well, you know, it's a great question because everybody expects you to just go back and, you know, and do it again. You know, reloading is from a physical standpoint you can probably do, but getting them right back in the groove of we got to go take it one at a time, not look out there to the big game, 5th or 6th in the season, or hey, we're going to be all right. We're going to talk about the playoff, but going one game, one series, one play at a time is really hard to do, and that's what Alabama's done so well. You know, they played 5 SEC games in a row here 2 years ago, and we were the 5th one, and they were playing as well in the 5th one as they were playing in the first one.
Wow.
And that's what you have to do is just play consistent. Clemson. You know, of course, it took a little blimp on their screen, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, to get them back on track. But it's hard to repeat. You don't find many that has repeated as SEC champions.
Right.
You know, and you don't find very many at all that have repeated as national champions.
One ball, no strikes for Trevor Story.
I got to tell you, as a football fan, it's great to see you back around here because I know, you know, I grew up a huge football fan, still am, and what you did at Tennessee was awesome. And,
Thank you. We had a great run, had a bunch of fabulous coaches there. A lot of them have gone on and done great things, good things. You know, David Cutcliffe at Duke, and a whole bunch of them, you know, that are out in pro football and other places. So proud of them, but also a bunch of players that were just dynamite football players.
And made you a movie star.
You know what? That wasn't a bad deal to hang out with Sandra Bullock. I kind of enjoyed it. My wife doesn't like me saying that. She's downstairs. I'll hear about that. No, it was a great story, number one, in the fact that he was a wonderful young man and that family did some wonderful things for him. I had the kid. I had him. I'm telling you, I just never thought about adopting him. You know,
right?
That was a new recruiter boy on me there.
Wow.
But he's a special young man, and I'm proud for him. And we needed a good story at that particular time. You remember all the stuff that was going on in our country?
It was a terrific
just a fun story
and movie, and you did a great job.
Yeah.
And you're with Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
And there's one other person we would be remiss in mentioning, Todd Helton, former Colorado Rocky, was also at the University of Tennessee.
Todd was a quarterback for me, and we actually went to Georgia. We lost our starter in the UCLA game in 90. I'm going to get this wrong, probably 94, because Heath Schuler had just gone to pro football. And Todd was our backup, and he ended up going to Athens and handedly beating Georgia. And darn if he didn't get nicked later, and it scared me to death because I thought I missed his baseball career. Todd and I had an agreement, you know, get me through 6 games and I'll get Peyton Manning ready.
Yeah.
And you can go take batting practice. I promise you, Todd, you won't get hit. He's in the UCLA
and then you put
game.
Peyton in and everything else was done.
But Todd, I put him in the UCLA game. He does a great job bringing us back. But they're trying to kill him, you know. That scared me to death. What a great young man Todd is. Alan Cockrell is the batting coach for the Yankees, played baseball for us there as well. Phil Garner's a great friend. We were in school at the same time. You know, so yeah, I've tried to follow these baseball guys. If I had my choices, I'd probably done this, actually. But that, you know, the football paid the scholarship.
Right? You ain't lying.
There wasn't a lot of baseball money out there for me.
Well, you know, the hardest thing when I got recruited was, you know, not many football coaches wanted to hear that baseball was first and football was second.
No,
they didn't like that for some reason.
That doesn't. Spring practice doesn't relate to that very well, right?
No, Coach O'Leary at Georgia Tech wasn't a big fan of that.
Yeah, well, it's hard to do. It's really hard to do. Only a few special athletes can do that. And there's certainly.
And we're trying to convert Joe over here. You know, he's a Big 12 guy.
I wish Bo Jackson had gone on and played baseball.
Yeah, I bet you do.
He made us miserable a couple of times. You know, he wasn't just good at breaking bats over his knee. He was breaking linebackers for a long period of time there.
Coach, always a pleasure. Thanks so much. Good luck to you.
Great seeing
Welcome to Atlanta.
Thanks for having us on.
Hit them good tomorrow.
All right, go Vols.
Good luck. All right. At MLBshop.com with limited edition Atlanta Braves jerseys and tees featuring player-picked nicknames. Wear the gear the players are wearing on field this weekend. Available while supplies last at MLBshop.com. College kids are here having a great time. But we're proudly wearing their colors. Jeff got some Clemson football stuff that's emblazoned with the Braves logo.
That's right.
Oh, I just got a text.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about all these great Tennessee volunteers, and Rick Honeycutt was watching.
Oh boy.
And let's not forget, Rick Honeycutt was a great volunteer.
Popped up by Dansby Swanson, right side. That's headed for the stands.
You know me, I could talk football all day, so this is the last thing I'll say, but I told Joe during the break what a nice man Philip Fulmer was. And people don't remember, he got the shaft at Tennessee. I told Joe, I don't think they've won 10 games since they fired him. A long time ago. So
nice man.
Grass ain't always greener on the other side.
You win a national championship in Division I college football, you are at the top of your game.
Yeah. Especially the year after Peyton Manning wins.
Right. No balls and a strike for Dansby Swanson. So the would-be mayor of Ringgold, Georgia is watching the game, right?
Yes, Senator Honeycutt.
Dodgers are home with Milwaukee later on tonight.
91 wins. That must be tough.
Put your feet up, relax. I understand from my scouts in Oklahoma, though, that I think Clayton Kershaw is pitching in Oklahoma City tonight.
Oh, that'd be great news.
On a rehab.
You think anybody's going to go watch that game?
Yeah.
Remarkable what the Dodgers have done with Clayton Kershaw sideline. Remember, he got hurt pitching against the Braves when we were out in L.A. Second year in a row, Clayton Kershaw's had some back problems. And the game needs guys like Clayton Kershaw to come back and come back strong. The Dodgers certainly have the luxury of a big lead out west, but getting him back, what a lift that's going to be for him. Ross Stripling's got the ball for L.A. tonight. Zach Davies will pitch for the Brew Crew, who have lost 3 of their last 4 games. And Dansby turns and lines one off Arenado's glove at third base.
What a swing. Almost got robbed by the 4-time Gold Glover, but what a swing on a pitch in on him. Got his hands inside the baseball. Watch this. hips cleared out of the way.
Look at that movement. You know, that's the thing we were talking about last night. You know, for me, the difference in him now is if he's still right there and doesn't get anything going, he can't get the head out like that and put a good swing on it.
He's getting a little something started now.
Really nice.
See if Newcomb can lay down a bunt. Well, we've pointed out a couple of times Dansby's moved up on the plate, right? Trying to take away that slider, which gave him so much trouble. You just saw how quick he is on the inner half. So moving up isn't going to penalize him on those inside pitches, it would appear. And he's got another hit. 11 of 14 games with a knock for Dansby now. Pitch bunted. Arenado slipped and then has only one play. He was thinking about going to second, but he lost his footing.
Talk about Dansby getting up on the dish. I remember TP used to always tell me you can jam yourself a hit, but usually something off the end of the bat is a guaranteed out.
Well, as a teammate of mine told me one time, your hands are a lot quicker than you think they are, as long as you give them a chance to work. Nice recovery there by Arenado. Almost went down. He did replace his divot.
That's nice.
So Ender back to work at the top of the order. He bounced back to the mound in the Braves' first inning. And right across those golden shoes for ball one. Check out these brogans.
You think that's for the University of Tennessee?
Probably not.
That's outside, ball two.
On Ender's patch on his sleeve there, but I'm going to guess it's family because of the concerns that he and other Venezuelan players have for their families back in their home country. Political issues.
3 balls, no strikes. Starting his second trip through the Braves order. He's got a 1-0 lead. And it made him throw a strike.
I asked Jonathan Lucroy today about Freeland. I said, I don't want any secrets or anything. Just tell me what you think of him since you've been here. And he said that about Freeland, that he's fearless. For a young player, you cannot scare him. He will come after you. Quite a nice compliment.
Tapped up the middle. Who wants it? LeMahieu tried with a bare hand. Couldn't come up with it. Everybody's safe. And if LeMahieu had given up on that play and just kept running toward the mound, Dansby might have had designs of coming home. But Atlanta's got him first and third with one out. Brandon Phillips, the batter.
It's a big deal. Big play. Because the left-handed hitter reaches, and now you got Phillips coming up there, who's already singled off of him, a right-handed hitter, who hopefully can put the ball in play and tie the game up.
I was surprised how deep LeMahieu was playing right there, especially knowing Ender.
First and third, one out for Phillips. And he takes a strike. Bud Black trying to improve on a 9-13 August record for Colorado.
Spoke to him briefly before the game, and the only thing he really said about where they are right now, he said we just need to win a ball game and then go from there and try to get some confidence back.
No balls and a strike. And a liner. That is a fair ball. Dansby scores. Ender on his way to third. He's going to stop there. Ball got away. And Inciarte scampers back to third base. Brandon Phillips guides one down the right field line that kissed the chalk, and it ties the game at 1.
And he's 5 hits away from 2,000. Sacrifice pays off. Infield hit. Oh, look at that.
It's a little Adrian Beltre back knee.
Threw the change up the first pitch right down the middle. I don't know that Brandon was looking for it again, but he was able to handle it.
So it's set up nicely for Freddie Freeman. 1 in, 1 out, first and third for the Braves first baseman, who lined out in the first inning. And Lucroy, a nice stop. Ball 1.
I know you said he was fearless. We'll see how fearless he is right here now.
It's true.
Braves have gotten Sean Newcomb even in the game. Freeman will try to put him in front. Way outside. Ball 2. And now Lucroy out for a chat. Saw that graphic briefly on the screen for Freddie Freeman and his good work with runners in scoring position this year, hitting over 400. And it's 415 to be exact. What's amazing is Freddie Freeman has had just 53 at bats this year with a runner in scoring position. This is number 54. Let's see if he can make the most of it. And swept outside. Haven't given him much to hit. 3-0 the count.
Green light special. Got a good pitch to hit. That's one of the few times you'll see Freddie try to pull a ball. That was a pitch away that he normally drives to left center, and it looked like he was sitting on something to turn on into the chop house.
3-0, yeah.
Well, he's got the whole left side of the infield to play with, which is right in his wheelhouse. I mean, that's where Freddie loves to hit the ball, right over the shortstop position.
I think you'll see him lock it back in here. You know, it's 3-0. He took a chance.
Toward left. Valleca backs up. There's the catch. The Rockies will surrender the run. A sacrifice fly and an RBI for Freeman, and the Braves are in front. Get him on, get him over, get him in. And 54 RBIs for Freddie Freeman. Six hits already for the Braves tonight. Matt Kemp has one. Matt led off the second. lower third for the Rockies coming up in the 4th inning. Leads by a run. Line into center. Blackmon read it well and makes the play. And that retires the side. A run on 3 hits. RBIs from Brandon Phillips and Freddie Freeman. And Atlanta takes a 2-1 lead. Saturday, September 22nd, and get your very own Bobby Cox replica statue. Presented by Coca-Cola. That's available for the first 20,000 fans here at SunTrust Park. Get your seats at Braves.com. September 22nd is a Friday night. The Philadelphia Phillies will be in town for the final home weekend of the 2017 season. Good crowd here tonight. Braves start action needing roughly 32,000 fans to go over the 2 million mark in attendance. I think we got a pretty good shot tonight. And Sean Newcomb's got a lead after 3 innings. 2-1's the score. Lucroy, Valleca, and Freeland are coming up.
And the 1 run he's given up was started by a hit batsman and then 1 out later a walk. That set it all up. So all those free passes come back to haunt him.
Lucroy walked back in the 2nd inning. And Sean has excellent stuff.
This is where you want your pitcher right here to shut him down, get you right back in.
Absolutely.
Get 2 runs.
And so here I think is a textbook example of what you'd like to see Newcomb learn how to do next. Get to 2 strikes, finish the hitter off. Rather than nibble and get to 2-2 or 3-2. He uses a lot of energy to get through his innings. And that's an excellent way to begin the frame. Lucroy chased 1 in the dirt, and he's down on strikes.
Is that a changeup or a curveball?
Looked like a little curve. I mean, I think for the 2 years that he's been with us, you don't question the stuff. You watch the stuff and plays, you're just want him to, continue to learn how to pitch and be more efficient. I think that's the biggest thing.
I think that, like Chip said earlier, it takes him almost too many pitches to get it out because he's done a good job of getting ahead.
Valleca drives 1 deep toward left. Kemp on the run. He reaches up in front of the wall and made the catch.
Terrific play. He had to go a long way to get it. say back in the day, wasn't that long ago, Matt Kemp was a darn good outfielder when he was playing center field for the Dodgers.
Yeah, you didn't want to hit it there.
Nope.
So 2 outs on 5 pitches. He's got the pitcher Freeland. Let's see if he can make it a real quick inning. Strike 1.
That's what you wanted, a 7, 8, 9 pitch inning like this.
Well, it was perfect. He had the bottom third of the order up. Now he just needs to finish off the pitcher and get his offense back up there.
And he just did. How about that sequence? 8 pitches. And Newcomb preserves the lead. Markakis, Flowers, and Albies are coming up. It's 2-1 Atlanta in the 4th.
Home half of the 4th inning, and on Players Weekend, it's not just the players who got to choose nicknames for the back of their jerseys. The coaches did as well. Ron Washington, his says sweet with 3 E's. When I asked him why, he said it when he was in the minor leagues, he would turn such smooth defensive plays, and he was an opposite field hitter, so when he would rip one, all of his teammates would call him sweet. And he said if you talk to any of his former teammates, any of his friends, that's still what they refer to him as. Chip, Joe, and Jeff, I will not say that again, but I will appreciate it if you guys give your best impression of it.
I don't know about the impression, but I can vouch for him as a former teammate, and he was really smooth around the bag.
I got traded in 2010, remember, from the Mets to the Rangers when he was the manager there. And I get there, and second day I see Clint Hurdle throwing BP to Wash. Clint Hurdle was what the heck's Washington doing hitting BP? We went up 2 weeks later to Minnesota, and he played for Minnesota, so they had an old timers game. And all these other guys are kind of laughing, taking a thing. Wash went 3 for 3, and on his 3rd at bat, he was running to second, pulled his hammy.
Oh, no.
Had to come out of the game. And everybody's laughing and joking. He, you know, he's talking about how he got 3 knocks.
He should have been running some sprints in between, too.
Man, it was hilarious. He's a grinder.
Yeah, and he played that way.
Nick Markakis leads off the Braves here in the 4th. Over the course of a season, there's so many unforgettable moments that fans see, that we see. A lot of the best moments are the things you don't see behind the scenes. And one of my favorites took place when we were last in Philadelphia. As Nick bounces one foul past first. We've all seen Ron Washington doing his defensive drills with Johan Camargo and Dansby Swanson and Brandon Phillips with that pancake glove, right? These are professional players. About 3 hours before the game in Philadelphia, Ron Washington's out doing these exact same drills. One of the kids in the visitors clubhouse who asked him, "Hey, Wash, can you show me some defensive drills? I'd like to play baseball."
He was going to play at a junior college
right.
or something.
And
Yeah.
Washington, let's go. You want to work? Let's go. When you talk about someone who is giving something back to the game on a daily basis, aren't many better than Ron Washington. And that was something I'll never forget seeing. Not Dansby, not one of the other infielders, but an anonymous clubhouse kid who just came to him asking Ron Washington for a little extra help.
In all my years in baseball, he's by far one of the top 5 guys that just loves this game, loves being around. Couldn't have been a better year to bring a guy like him in when you have Ozzie and Dansby and Camargo and these young guys to get out there and work. Because I remember when I got called up to the big leagues, Joe, you know, I don't know about you, but you know, the minor leagues, everything's so structured. You got people telling you what to do, when to do it this time. And all of a sudden you get up to the big leagues and it's like, no, we don't have stretch, you know, get out there at 4:30 for BP. And if you're not careful, especially as a young guy, you can get into some bad habits.
That's why I really dislike the fact that infield and outfield practice doesn't exist anymore. I think it's really a detriment to your ball club defensively when you're not going through those drills, especially when the outfielders aren't throwing.
I tell you what, wherever I've been, though, include some outfielders, even Atlanta here last year, we've always gone in the outfield throwing twice a week.
Well, that's something. That's more than most.
And not
people.
just arm strength, it's for accuracy purposes.
Accuracy, more than
you know,
anything.
it's unreal.
One ball, 2 strikes for Tyler Flowers. Bounced into the step on the bank, throw across to first, double play in inning number 2. That double play started by Nolan Arenado at third base. 2 on, Atlanta leads it. And that one's lifted toward right. Gerardo Parra has it measured up. And no trouble with the sky. And Flowers is out number 2. Here's Ozzie Albies. Almost called him Osby again. Or I get it wrong once a week, and it makes Joe laugh every single time. Call him Osby. Soon it's going to be Danzy.
Yeah, I think that's where you're headed.
I got no chance.
We all know who you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
All those years watching my grandfather butcher names, it's terrifying to see your future. 2 outs, bases empty, and a liner toward right center field. Look at this kid run. Here we go. On his way to second. Helmet's gone. He's around the bag. He's flying toward third, and a belly flop slide.
Love it. This is not an easy triples park to right field. It's only 375 to the gap. So that's a short relay. And those are good arms. He knew it. Hit it in stride.
Look at that hair flapping. I think I'm going to have to talk to him tomorrow and see if that helmet coming off is just more or less, you know, kind of like, look at my hair, you know. It's kind of, I could see Chip doing that with his hair. He'd want everybody to see his hair.
Right?
See the flow.
It's my best feature.
If Chip put a helmet on, it wouldn't even cover his ears. It would just sit up there. He's already got a helmet on.
Oh, thanks a lot. Let's move along here, shall we? Dansby's intentionally walked. Can we get Fulmer back in here? Let's talk some football. Yeah. See if Nuke can help himself. He laid down the sacrifice. His long time up there, and that's off the plate. Well, Ozzie with 4 triples already. Only playing in his 23rd game.
He takes a big swing from the right side, but he controls it.
Fun to watch.
You know, it's not an out of control swing where you're looking at it like, wow, he's got to cut that down. He just
plays way beyond his years in terms of his instincts, confidence.
Sean had a good cut, came up empty. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's what I like to see Sean do. 6'5", 255, cut it loose.
That's what you got to look at a guy like this and wonder in high school. He had to drop bombs, didn't he?
You know he did. He was hitting it out of the ballpark in BP the other day with regularity, but that was BP.
So Freeland gets out of 4th inning trouble. We go to the 5th with the top of the Rockies orders coming up in a good ball game. Through 4 innings at SunTrust Park. Here's your live look in from our Xfinity cam. Big crowd tonight. They've seen a good ball game. Sean Newcomb is going to try to mow down the Rockies. Tough inning ahead for him, though, as you see our SunTrust Confidence players. We've got 4 of the top 5 hits leaders in the National League in this game tonight.
Pretty exciting stuff right there, and especially if you're a Rockies fan, to have that many guys with that high a batting average and that many hits. No wonder Arenado's got 108 RBIs. The guys in front of him are on base all the time.
Let's hope Newcomb can corral Charlie Blackmon again. He's gotten him twice, once on a strikeout, once on a ground out. Sean had an 8-pitch 4th inning.
That's where you'd like to see Nuke work at least 2 more innings, and if not into the 7th a little bit.
Absolutely. His longest outing is 6 1/3, and that was his first start in the big leagues. And man, was he throwing strikes that day.
Two balls, 1 strike for the former Georgia Tech star Charlie Blackmon. Lifted out of play, foul. So far, Joe's 4 keys are right on target, as they always are. One of them was walks. 9 walks in 11 innings for Newcomb coming into this game over his last couple of starts. He's only issued 1 walk tonight. The 1 run that did come across was via a hit batsman. And he has been throwing his fastball with good effect. He's got 5 strikeouts in the game.
And that was a good one there. Blackmon was late on it.
Ground ball to the left side. Dansby surrounds. Long throw in the stretch. Got it. What a play.
Big league play there. Mike Redmond checking the replay for the Rockies. Bud Black with his hand up. They want to make sure. Great release there by Dansby, and what a stretch by the big man.
What incredible arm strength to throw that ball on target with
nice
velocity, moving away from the target.
Big league play.
Brings up DJ LeMahieu, who's 0 for 2 tonight.
You know, I was talking with Snip a little bit about Newcomb and what he needs to do to kind of, you know, continue to get better and grow. One of his big things he was talking to him about was establishing your fastball, especially as a left-handed guy throwing 94, 95. You look at those guys, the Kershaws, the Sales, the Price. They have great all-speed stuff, but they're going to establish that fastball, and then you work off that.
Fly ball deep right. Markakis will turn and admire that one as it sails into the chop house seats. DJ LeMahieu with a patented opposite field hit. This one left the ballpark, and the Rockies have tied the game. So the fans toss back that obviously defective baseball as LeMahieu has his 5th home run.
Well, we've been talking about that a lot, Jeff, about him establishing his fastball because it is his best pitch. That one connected by LeMahieu, and as Chip said, that is patented. DJ LeMahieu going the other way.
You know, but 2-0 count with Arenado and the big boys coming up. You got to give him something.
You got to get a strike. You got to try and keep him off the bases before Nolan gets up there.
What a play! Newcomb with a gorgeous blind grab takes care of Arenado for the 2nd out. Every now and then it works.
Yep. And as a hitter from your angle, you think maybe you got a base hit. Glad Sean stopped and picked it up.
Here's Reynolds. And that was called a ball. 1-0.
Good pitch.
There are a lot of things to like about Sean Newcomb. I showed you those numbers against the National League West. He certainly held his own there. But also, I like his demeanor. You don't really know if he's in trouble or not. He's very constant.
Yeah.
Tipped and caught. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
There's a difference right there. The 2-0. You know, you could tell he cheated getting ready for the heater, and something right there. 2-1. You know, he's thinking a little more, could see an off speed, and next thing you know, you sneak one by him, and now you're in control.
Just missed, good try.
So a deep count for Reynolds. Base is empty, 2 outs. LeMahieu's tied it with a homer. And Reynolds spoiled that pitch. Colorado's going to have a nice player returning when healthy. Ian Desmond made a AAA rehab assignment again last night. He's played first base, he's played left field, and he's scheduled to play shortstop tonight. Reynolds takes a walk with 2 outs. So Bud Black's going to have another offensive and defensive option, not to mention a terrific hitter to add to this Colorado club down the stretch.
Can't have enough weapons this time of year.
So here's Parra, hit by a pitch and scored a run. He's also flied out to center. just got hit again. 1 ball, no strikes. Parr's got the combination of Odubel Herrera and Ryan Braun when he takes his stance. Check this out. Tap, adjust, hand to the umpire's face. Now he's ready to go.
Carlos Gonzalez not playing tonight against the lefties, but Gerardo Parra is, and with good reason.
You know, especially this time of year for Bud, you got to win. If he's going to perform, you got to play him.
Pull, foul past first. And it's a 2-1 count.
Jeff, if you make a comeback and I see you at the plate standing there with the bat in your left hand and your right hand at the umpire telling him to wait for you, I'm going to start throwing rocks at you from here. Okay, you got it?
Well, I can tell you this. From eating up here and hanging out with y'all, there's no chance of a comeback anymore.
Welcome to broadcasting.
I have to DH in the American League.
Line, a hanging breaking ball into center field. Continues as Parra singles to center. Reynolds stops at second. And that's the second hit of the inning.
Well, he's a good player, whether he puts that hand up or not. Yeah, I don't like that pitch. I've said it from the beginning with Sean. A left-handed hitter's going to love you to throw a curveball in. Gives you a chance to adjust. You see it so well. And that was a case in point there.
I used to always say when I was up, a right-handed pitcher, if he threw me a curveball instead of a slider, I absolutely loved it because you had more time, it would hang.
And even if it made you fly open a little bit, if you thought it was coming inside, you still can get to it.
Uh-oh, Story's going to split the gap with 2 outs. 1 run scores. Here comes Parra. They're going to green light him. And there'll be no play at the plate. Trevor Story jumps on the first pitch. And he puts Colorado back in front with a 2-run, 2-out, 2-base hit.
What got it started, Chip? Walk. 2-out walk.
And see, this is my thing we were talking about, Joe, that I struggle with is all of a sudden you 2 pitches in a row you've gotten beat with your second and third best pitch, especially at, you know, not cutting time at the end of the game. You got to go with what got you there.
And at 94 pitches, that's going to be the end of the line. Sean Newcomb, by the way, you saw, I had a little look at the Oakland umpire Sean Barber. Maybe a few calls didn't go Sean's way that frustrated him here in the inning, but a walk and back-to-back hits has played a pair of runs. Colorado now leads at 4-2 in the 5th.
your local Toyota dealer. Let's go places. And SunTrust.
A 3-run Colorado fifth, a homer by LeMahieu, then a 2-out walk to Reynolds, a single by Parra, and then a Trevor Story double has put the Rockies in front. So Brian Snitker, after 94 pitches, relieves Newcomb, and Matt Whistler comes out of the Atlanta bullpen to pitch.
Matt's had some rest. He hasn't worked in 6 days, but that was probably because he had a 3-inning stint against the Reds. 3 innings of 1 hit, shutout, 1 walk, 1 strikeout work. Moved to the bullpen when he got sent down the most recent time to Gwinnett, and has been working out of the bullpen exclusively and doing a good job.
You know, I thought that was a great move to send Wiss to the bullpen. You know, I've played with guys from Luke Kochaber to Wade Davis to guys that did okay starting, but all of a sudden they go down there and they can let it eat at 95, 96. They're not holding anything back. Kind of find a, you know, niche.
Yeah, and Matt's got a good fastball to work from.
And had Lucroy backing out of the way. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I mean, that's a perfect example right there. You got, what, 2 sliders in a row. If you're a starter, you're not just coming in and starting 2 sliders.
Now to play right side. It's now 1-2 for the Colorado catcher. Atlanta will have the top of its batting order coming up in the 5th. Kyle Freeland's been given a 2-run lead now. And a bouncy ball to Phillips, who went to a knee to make the play. And his toss across is in time, and that retires the side. 3 runs, 3 hits, a 2-out walk, a key play in the inning. And we head to the bottom of the 5th.
My worst nickname was Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. When I played winter ball, I was so skinny and I just had a little bit here. And in Venezuela, I was Shaggy for everybody, not in the NCRT. My best nickname, I'll say Game Ender. I like when people say Game Ender to me. I really like it.
Well, let's hope later in the ball game we could have a game ender hit from Mr. Inciarte. Braves need to get some work going here, down 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning. Ender, Phillips, and Freeman coming up. Kyle Freeland now staked to a 2-run lead. He's had base runners all over the place tonight as well, so he's going through the order a 3rd time. Ender picked up his 151st hit in the 3rd inning and scored a run. He's got a shot at 200 hits. He swung at the first one here and skied it to right. And Parra is going to make the catch for out number 1.
That's one thing Freeland's got going for him right now. He's only got 56 pitches. Talk about efficiency.
And he got through the first 2 innings, which have been problematic ones for him. He did give up the 2 spot in the 3rd, nothing in the 4th, and got the first man here in the 5th.
He really hasn't gotten that many ground balls tonight compared to what you expect from him when he's 3rd in the league in ground ball efficiency.
That's in for a strike. Washington won tonight. They beat the Mets 9-4. They have been racked by injuries. Ryan Zimmerman got hurt the other day in Houston. I'll tell you how in a moment. Pitch, a strike. Head first slide at the plate. Injured shoulder.
Of course.
So it's not known how long Zimmerman's going to be out for the Nationals, who are already without Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Max Scherzer, Adam Eaton, and on we go.
Brian Goodwin.
Yep.
Jason Worth. Now, the best they can hope for, they've got a very comfortable lead, but the best they can hope for is to be somewhat ready and healthy come playoff time. They're not going to get the wild card team. The Dodgers are going to get that.
Right.
The wild card winner.
As it stands now, Washington will play the Cubs.
Yeah, you're looking at the Washington Cubs.
Yeah. So you better have your lineup together, and you better have Scherzer and Strasburg ready.
I think Dusty's probably thinking, you know, last couple weeks of the season, you want all your guys back so they can go hard to the end.
Swing and a miss by Phillips. If I'm not mistaken, Matt Wieters started today and was the only guy that was on the opening day lineup card that played for Washington in the game today.
No kidding.
I didn't hear you. Were you talking? Is Murph hurt?
No, Murph's playing.
No, he's fine. But they've used 13 outfielders. Scherzer's been hurt. Strasburg's been hurt. Scherzer may come back tomorrow, I believe. No timetable yet for Bryce Harper. The Washington papers said he is still limping around the Nationals clubhouse. As Freddie Freeman digs in with 2 outs. I will say this might be Dusty Baker's finest hour, that he's kept that team together with all the injuries that they have had.
Yeah, I agree. He and Don Mattingly have both done a tremendous job.
Even with those additions, I just still wonder if that bullpen for Washington's going to be able to hold up come postseason.
That's been their Achilles heel.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Jeff, it is so much better than it was.
Yeah. Oh, it is. They had, I think, what, Madsen, Doolittle. That was a good.
Yeah.
Well, Madsen's been hurt too. He's got a tendon sheath problem in one of his fingers that's been problematic for him. He's been throwing hard curveballs. That apparently has irritated his pitching hand.
Don't you hate that?
I don't know how you fix that.
I've never heard of that injury. That's
just let it rest and get healthy. The pitch. Freeman's down on strikes, and how about that shutout inning from Kyle Freeland? He struck out Phillips and Freddie back to back, and he sends our game to the 6th.
2 as we head to the top of the 6th. And welcome back into our Fox Sports set here in the Battery Atlanta. I'm Rebecca Capel for this Xfinity game break. We take you to, well, the Phillies hosting the Cubs tonight. Bottom second, no score. Until the latest rookie sensation, Rhys Hoskins goes yard for the Phillies. A 2-run shot, his 10th home run in his first 17 games. That is the most in MLB history, and that dates all the way back to 1871. He's homered now in 7 straight games. Cubs have taken a 6-2 lead in the 7th. Chip, Joe, and Jeff?
I didn't know that part of it,
wow.
Rebecca. That is one shy of the all-time record of homers in 8 consecutive games. And playing at Citizens Bank Park, he's got a chance to join as Valleca lays down a bunt. Dale Long, Don Mattingly, and Ken Griffey Jr. as the only 3 players to homer in 8 consecutive Major League games.
Wouldn't that be something?
Who's pitching for the Cubs tomorrow? Can you look that up? I'm curious about that.
Tonight it's Kyle Hendricks.
Yeah.
Tomorrow it will be. Hang on. John Lackey, we're told.
And Lackey's been giving up the long ball this year, hasn't
Yes. Braves will get a first-hand look at Hoskins beginning Monday.
Ooh.
Here's Freeland with 1 out. He struck out twice.
I don't care if you're a big league guy playing in high school. 7 home runs in consecutive games is impressive.
Yes, it is.
And 23 RBIs in 17 games, and he started 0 for 12. So his first 3 games as a Philly in his home park, he went hitless. Then they went on the road trip. He started hitting everything in sight. He hasn't stopped quite yet.
Think he's been picked up on some fantasy teams?
They've been waiting for him a long time. Rhys Hoskins. Swing and a miss. Down on strikes is Freeland. He's got the hat trick. 2 away. First for Whistler, who goes back to the top of the order, and Charlie Blackmon. Scary thing about Hoskins and what he's doing, he's solidified the middle of the Phillies lineup, and the Braves have to run into that. We know how tough the Phillies have been against the Braves so far this year.
11-2.
That's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Marlins and Padres tied 1-1. That game's in the 6th inning.
Padres have played well.
They have. A lot of folks had them pegged to lose well over 100 games. They're 57-71.
And with all those young players that they promoted this year, even out of A-ball.
That was one of those. I thought they'd lose more than 100. Well over.
Well, they've got a guy that pitched really impressively against the Braves out west. Dinelson Lamet. He was really tough when the Braves played the Padres in San Diego. He's facing Adrisamer Despaigne, another former Padre, tonight.
Oh, I'm glad we're not doing that game.
He's pitching for Miami. Giancarlo Stanton, 49 homers.
Dinelson and Despaigne, we have no shot.
And with Osby and Dansby,
yeah,
we'd be in big trouble. 2 balls and a strike. Stanton, by the way, with his 49 homers, is the most in the National League since 2007.
He doesn't have one yet tonight?
Not that I'm aware of.
What's wrong with him?
Prince Fielder hit 50 home runs for Milwaukee 10 years ago. Can you believe that?
Yeah, because I think he hit about 5 or 6 against us.
Yeah. Stanton's goal is to hit 60, 61. He may fly past it. He's on pace for 63, and the Braves will see the Marlins 8 more times this year,
including the last 3 or 4 of the season.
Yep, it's 4. Final 4 in Miami.
Which could end up being huge for Miami.
Could be the way they're playing right now. Braves single-handedly knocked the Tigers out of the playoffs last year. They oddly finished with interleague play, and the Braves took it to the Tigers and knocked them out. Matt Whistler pitched one of the games, as I recall.
3 balls, 2 strikes. And Blackmon fouls it away.
Julio pitched that last game here?
At Turner?
I think it was Blair, Whistler, and Tehran.
I think you're right. I think that's how it went.
In some order, but those I think were the 3 starters. In fact, that was maybe Aaron Blair's best big league start, far and away.
Agreed.
11 strikeouts did he have? Something like that? Have to look that up. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And Blackmon's retired. Whistler blazes in with a fastball. Ready pitch. Home 6th coming up. 4-2 game. Joe Simpson, Jeff Francoeur, Kelsey Wingert from SunTrust Park. Let's see if the Braves can make a comeback here. Raimel Tapia is going to take over for Valaika in left field as Matt Kemp is going to get things started. Let you know if there's anything wrong with Mr. Valaika, who made the first out in the 6th inning. To third, Arenado with a perfect throw takes care of Matt Kemp. Freeland starting to get outs early in the count. A lot of first pitch swings. One by Inciarte leading off the 5th. One by Kemp here in the 6th.
I think the switch in left field's what they call a little Pat Burrell switch right there.
Might be.
5 and dive.
That was a good pitch there that Freeland made to Kemp. He keeps the ball down there. He's going to get a lot more ground balls.
Nick Markakis 1 for 2 tonight. And takes a strike.
Tell you what, Joe, his last 2 1/3 innings have been efficient and quick.
That's what I was just looking at, Jeff. He had a bad 2nd inning, but he escaped. He gave up hits to the first 2 batters, and then he got the double play hit into by Flowers. Gave up 2 runs in the 3rd, and since then, mighty tough.
Line over short. Markakis serves one into left center field for his 2nd hit of the game. But yeah, it's interesting where the Braves are in their rebuild, and I think it's interesting to look at what Colorado has done.
Nice swing.
The Rockies have been searching forever to find a formula that works at Coors Field, and maybe the Rockies are a team that the Braves can think about emulating in this regard. It's Bud Black's first year with the Rockies team. They had all these kids stockpiled in their system, and they said, we're taking our best arms. At one point, the Rockies had 4 rookies in the rotation. They've got 3 of them in there now with 10 or more wins. Might that be something the Braves contemplate doing next year with all the arms that are coming up through the system for the 2018 season?
Yeah, the guy that I think for them that's got the ability to take it to the next level is tomorrow's guy, John Gray. He has got some good stuff.
Really good.
Big boy.
I think it would be a consideration for the Braves, you know, depending on who they deem to be ready.
Right. But if the currency of Major League Baseball is pitching, which is what John Coppolella has said consistently since he assumed the GM's job, and if the price for pitching is exorbitantly high to acquire or to sign, and the inherent risks that come from signing someone who's pitched a while, I think that might be something cool to follow and see if the Braves follow the Rockies model. As Sean Barber got popped with that foul ball off the bat of Tyler Flowers. Because I don't think anybody expected all these Rockies rookies to pitch as effectively as they have this year, especially at Coors Field. But here they are in the wild card chase.
And I feel like, first of all, they've succeeded. Secondly, they're going to be that much better next year for it.
You know, people ask me all the time, if you hear people, you know, is this, you think he's ready? You never know if he's ready until you bring him up and you throw him in there and see what happens.
Were you ready when you got called up?
To be honest, probably not.
Right?
But you thought you were.
Yeah, exactly.
Confident.
Absolutely.
You were playing well.
But, you know, it's like anything, you know, is anybody ever ready for that?
Yeah.
In any sport, in any level, you know, from high school to college.
There's that double-digit winning trio.
We're talking about German Marquez being maybe the best of the bunch.
No balls, 2 strikes. 1 on, 1 out. Pretty good pitch. But Flowers got the call. It's 1-2.
Marty Foster, who their pitching coach is, was a bullpen coach in Kansas City when I was there. And you were talking to Lucroy earlier today about being fearless and everything. And Marty told me yesterday the one thing he's tried to instill in these pitchers is do not be afraid to fail, especially at Coors Field. You're going to give up some cheapies. You're going to give up this, move on.
That is life at Coors Field.
You have to. You have to have a short memory there.
Yeah. Well, that guy knows pitching. Bud Black. And, you know, when he was named the manager of the Rockies, I'm sure during the offseason he tried to either get video or go see some of these guys pitch live if they were pitching in winter ball or the Arizona Fall League, whatever the case might have been, to get a first-hand glimpse.
One ball, 2 strikes. 4-2 Rockies game. Not quite ready yet. Bent around the plate. Freeland thought he had him struck out.
Maybe 1 on the house.
That's what you get for protecting the umpire all night.
How close was this?
Oh, it's off the plate.
Never got there.
No. Pitchers want it.
2-2. Flowers into center. Blackmon is there, and he's got it for the 2nd out.
You know, one thing the Rockies did too this year, though, is they went out and spent some money on their bullpen. Getting McGee, getting Dunn. They got Holland, which I thought was a great pickup. I know he struggled last 4 or 5 outings, but what a job he's done.
Yeah. Yeah, veteran guys.
Exactly.
Been there.
Well, let's see if Ozzie and keep the 6th inning alive. He made some Atlanta history in his last at bat. Jared Burleson tells us he's the first Brave since 1966 with 4 triples in his first 23 games. And in Braves franchise history, dating back to the Boston days, only Chet Ross has more triples in 23 games. He had 5 of them in the 1940 season.
Chet the Jet.
Chet the Jet.
Did I have 4 triples in my career?
Well,
the blazing speed.
We'll have to go back and look at that.
No. I know I got more than that.
What made it more impressive, though, Jeff, is that it took you a lot more steps to get there.
That is true.
Fly ball, pretty well hit. Deep right field. Parra going back. That ball is off the wall. Blackmon backs it up beautifully. Ozzie with a double. That scores Nick Markakis, and the Braves are down a run.
Tell you, Jeff, with his pop right-handed, especially that way, this ballpark he's going to love this place.
I told you, this kid just continues to impress me more and more. I mean, look at that. That's a nice sized leg kick, little cock of the bat, but he's very under control with the swing. It's not out of control at all. I mean, for a little guy to go right center and hit the wall.
Dynamite comes in small packages, and Ozzie Albies has 2 more extra base hits. And a great play by Charlie Blackmon to back up. If that ball isn't backed up, Ozzie might be standing at third base. But he's still in scoring position for Dansby Swanson. 4-3 game now. Dansby has a single, a run, and was walked intentionally. And he shoots one off the chest. Comes Ozzie to score. We're tied 4 apiece. Dansby on his way to second. He'll belly flop in safely. Nolan Arenado, one of the best third basemen in the game and maybe in recent memory. That ball ate him alive, and the Braves have tied the game.
Hit hard again. Great turn on it. And then Toppy came in and overran it. Off the forearm, that's got to be a base hit. Hitting an error because Dansby was not going to go to second until the left fielder booted it.
I would assume he gets an RBI on that play.
Yeah, I would think so.
Oh, yeah.
So, like Sean Newcomb, Kyle Freeland with some 2-out trouble here in the 6th inning. Albies with the 2-out double, scores on the Swanson hit. What we assume is an E7. And the Braves have new life. Newcomb's off the hook. And Lane Adams is going to come on and pinch hit.
We've seen the bottom of the order do a lot of damage lately, haven't we? With the way Albies and Swanson have been swinging it.
I think that's the thing that you look forward to as a Braves fan, as you start to see Ozzie and Swanson and guys in the 7th, 8th hole. That's when you become a good team, is when you lengthen out that lineup and you feel like you can score any night from the bottom part of the lineup.
And when it's really fun, the bottom feeds the top, and the guys in the middle drive in 2 and 3 runs.
It just takes pressure off people. You're not feeling like you got to be that guy every night.
1 ball, 1 strike for Lane Adams.
You think Coach Fulmer would have liked to have had this guy at wide receiver, say, in Tennessee?
Give him Peerless Price, put him on opposite sides, run some post routes. You Oklahoma people wouldn't know about that kind of speed, though.
No, we haven't had any wide receivers be All-Americans or set all kinds of records. D.D. Westbrook, sorry.
1 ball, 2 strikes. This keeps up. I'm going to have to separate you two. 4-4 game here in the Braves 6th.
Even when I got traded and I was gone over the years, Joe would always get a text from me before football season talking about Boomer Sooner.
Yep. He loves him. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
We're going to show you that play on the base hit by Swanson again. They gave him a double, but clearly there was a boot there. Dansby was not going to go to second base. He was watching the run scoring, and then after the boot, took second base. That should have been a hit and an error.
That one might be changed. We'll wait and see. 1-2 pitch. He is caught on and missed, and that retires the side. What an inning. Markakis with a 1-out single. Albies and Swanson with 2-out hits. Game tied as we go to the 7th. Time for the Unlimited Baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Here's the National League wild card race. And guys, a name that I think has to be talked about in the MVP race is Paul Goldschmidt. And I don't think he gets enough attention as the National League's top player.
He never does. He's always kind of like the also-ran guy, and he just keeps putting great seasons back to back. The Rockies have, among these teams, not really carried the load lately because they are 17-20 since the break. Brewers are trying to hang in there. Travis Shaw having a great year. I think he's hit, I guess, the second longest home run now at SunTrust Park this year. And the Marlins, don't take your eye off of them. They're charging.
Which brings up another interesting point as Jose Ramirez is coming on to pitch. Rosters for postseason teams have to be, well, let me back up. Players that would be eligible for postseason have to be on the roster before September 1st. Would any of those teams that are on that list be in a position to make an acquisition to improve their chances of either locking up a wild card spot or winning a wild card spot?
For sure.
100% sure. You can always get better.
I think the Diamondbacks are in for sure. I feel like they've been pretty consistent and just stayed the course. And for me, I think it's obviously Colorado's to lose for that second one. But like you said, I won't count out Miami. I don't know Milwaukee's got the firepower to get there at the end.
Well, I think you put it accurately for these guys. It's kind of theirs to lose. They don't have a huge lead. 3.5 games coming into play tonight. But they do have the firepower. They have some good starting pitching. And they have a good pen, veteran pen anyway. And Holland has been good for the most part.
And they catch the ball.
Oh, best defensive team in the league.
That's side.
But they've got to win on the road. They've got to start winning some series on the road to give them a little breathing room.
They've lost 24 of 31 away from Coors Field and have scored 3 runs or less in 22 of those games. Tonight they've broken out with 4 runs, but they couldn't hold the lead. And a line drive the other way by LeMahieu. You know, we could go back and roll the tape on this guy. Any pitcher, any situation, any count, and that's his approach, and still he picks up just a ton of hits against not just the Braves but everybody else.
We said this out in Colorado, Jeff, that you could put every player on the right side of the diamond and he wouldn't hurt you that much if you had to chase one down the left field line.
I remember last year being in Colorado, and I don't know who it was, whatever positioning they were putting us in, but I said let's put 3 people on the right side of the field. The guy has not hit a ball left to second base. Make him turn on.
Yeah. He credits Richie Zisk, the former major league player who was one of his hitting coaches in the Cubs organization, with teaching him how to go the other way.
No balls and a strike for Nolan Arenado, who is 0 for 2. Excuse me. He's 2 for 2. Should be. Let me fix that.
Yeah.
Rewind the tape. Sorry. Nolan's 2 for 3.
There we go.
Should be 3 for 3 were it not for the great play by Sean Newcomb. He made the behind the back stab to rob him in the 5th inning. All right, here's another interesting topic. You got to pick one player to start your team, and all 3 are available. Manny Machado, Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, Nolan Arenado. Let's ponder that for a little while.
I don't have to ponder.
You've got your answer.
Give me Mike Trout every day of the week.
No balls, 2 strikes. Lifted toward right. And Markakis is there to make the play. Arenado's retired for the 2nd time in 4 trips.
But he played a trick on us. Did you notice that, Jeff?
Who?
Chip.
He said 3.
He said all 3 are available.
Yeah.
And he gave us 4 names.
4. Now,
so one of them's not available.
I just figured he
take Trout out of it.
I just figured he,
Trout just popped into my mind at the last minute. So let's eliminate Trout.
There's that Georgia math.
I've had a rough inning. Yeah. Let's move this to the stretch.
Let's get Fulmer in here and talk about that Georgia math.
Yeah. So, but seriously though, Machado, Harper, or Arenado?
I'll take Harper.
I'll take Harper.
I'll take Harper, then Arenado, and then Machado.
Agreed. But I'm going to probably lose sleep overnight before I have to make that pick between the 2 of them.
Key play in this game was Reynolds in his last at bat. He walked with 2 outs. It was against Sean Newcomb, and then gave up a single to Parra, and Story's 2-run double chased him and gave the Rockies a 4-2 lead. Ramirez 3 earned runs in his last 21 1/3 innings. His development, or his arrival, has been a very nice revelation for the Braves as you look forward to next season and figuring out how to configure your bullpen. Well, Ramirez and Vizcaino are 2 pretty good places to start for your relief corps. And you've got A.J. Minter, who was called up and has already made his major league debut. He throws 97 from the left side.
You know, I'm anxious to see him back out there.
One ball, 2 strikes. Looking ahead to the home 7th. Top of the orders due for the Braves. moved him off the plate. 2-2. Tampa Bay's leading the Cardinals. That game's 4-3 Rays in the bottom of the 8th inning. Well, what's happened to the Cardinals? Redbirds have lost 10 of their last 12 games. Mike Leake on the mound for St. Louis. Swing and a miss. Reynolds is retired. That's out number 2. 8 strikeouts for the Braves staff. Through 6 2/3 of work tonight.
Slider didn't do much, though.
Sometimes that's the best one.
It was almost a backup slider.
I've always liked Ramirez. I thought he's got good stuff, good tempo, works quick. He's got a heavy ball.
He does. Can be straight some nights if he's had a little too much work.
Yeah.
But what an arm.
And at 100 miles an hour, he gets ahead of Parra.
Isn't that crazy? It's nothing to throw 100 miles per hour anymore.
We don't even raise our eyebrows, do we?
You got guys coming in from mop-up rolls in the 6th throwing 100.
Yeah. Grab a bat.
Fell back.
Took a little off.
I remember back in '91 when the Braves were making their charge and Mark Wohlers came up for the first time. Braves had Alejandro Pena in the bullpen, and Mark Wohlers was the big flamethrower coming up for the Braves system. And late in the season, they brought him up, and he was out there throwing 94, 95, and everybody was on the top step of the dugout rail because it was such a rare thing.
Novelty, yeah.
A young relief pitcher to come out and do that. Now, you're right, Jeff. It's almost commonplace.
It really is, especially as a right-handed pitcher. More times than not, everybody's right-handed pitcher in their bullpen for the most part, unless it's a long relief guy, throws at least 95.
There was another guy in that pen, Chip, Juan Berenguer.
Downstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 4 runs, 10 hits for the Braves, 4 runs, 8 hits for Colorado. Rockies have left 6 men on base, the Braves 5 so far. And a swing and a miss. Very impressive inning by Ramirez. 2 strikeouts. And LeMahieu stranded at first base. 7th inning stretch. Top of the order coming up for Atlanta. They'll try to break a tie in game 2 with the Rockies.
Tied ball game 4-4, and we've talked so much about the nicknames and all of the cool things that the players can customize. Well, Freddie Freeman got a little creative with his bats. You're able to customize your bats as well. So you normally have your name and maybe your signature on the barrel of the bat, but he decided to switch it up and put his son's name on there, Charlie Freeman. It also has his weight, the time he was born, and his birthday. So a really cool thing that Freddie was able to do. Charlie in the stands tonight. You guys, one of the cutest babies I think we have all ever seen. Watching his daddy hit third this inning.
He is precious. I'll tell you what. He made it on the last road trip. Didn't hear a peep out of that child on the plane. And Charlie didn't cry either.
I was going to say, that ain't Freddie's doing. I'll tell you that right now. Chelsea's doing a great job.
So Chris Russin's on, a former starter who's moved to the bullpen for the Rockies. And he'll have Enciarte Phillips and Charlie Freeman's dad coming up here in the 7th inning. Kyle Freeland, pretty impressive. Gave up a lot of hits, but walked only one man, and that was an intentional pass. He struck out 5, and he'll have a no decision tonight. This one's a battle of the bullpens. The pitch, a bunt try. Reynolds will scoop it up and apply the tag, and Enciarte's out number 1.
That was such a good idea. He had Russin kind of fallen off to the third base side. If he just keeps it a little bit away from the sheriff, Mark Reynolds, and he's going to walk to first.
The sheriff. I just can't get used to that.
See how Russin had to turn his back to turn and go to the bag. Too bad the bump was right at the base.
I think Brandon's what now? 4 hits away?
5.
5.
It'll be 4 after he hits a home run here.
There you go. And then go 4 for 4 tomorrow.
Right.
Finish it off at home.
At home. Mentioned this stat a couple of times about Brandon Phillips. You know how terrific a career he has had as a major league hitter. All those years with the Cincinnati Reds, he had never come to town and hit a home run in Atlanta. Well, he's taking care of that this year as a member of the Braves. No balls, 2 strikes. He's got 11 homers in total, and this one's popped over the Braves dugout out of play.
This guy's got a real short arm action, probably a little hard to pick up. It kind of comes right out of his left ear. He can 92, 93, but he throws a lot of cutters and a good changeup.
8 of Brandon's homers have come at SunTrust Park. He's got some work to do here, down 0-2. And it's not to be. He's down on strikes. And there's the second out of the inning. So Russin has his first strikeout. That brings up Freddie.
Colorado's not as scared to put a starter down in the bullpen, are they? Chatwood, this guy.
Senzatella's been down there too.
They're going to put Freeland out there too. After Freeland almost threw a no-hitter at Coors Field and threw a ton of pitches before the All-Star break. And they did that not because those pitchers were necessarily pitching poorly, but they're trying to save innings for September by limiting their workload in relief.
I thought what the Braves did with Max Fried was really smart. They saved some innings for him, kept him from pitching every 5th day in the minor leagues by bringing him up, giving him a taste of the big leagues, and working in the bullpen.
Right into the shift. Freeman rolls out. Long throw sends us to inning number 8. We're tied 4-4. Let's check it again with Rebecca Capel.
All right. Thank you. Braves teamed up with the Latin American Association to host a bilingual reading event to encourage students to develop their English and Spanish literacy skills. You can see Brave second baseman Ozzie Albies was there. Free books were handed out. A very cool event. Hispanic Heritage Month continues in September when Atlanta will wear Los Bravos jerseys on the 17th against the Mets. And we want to welcome you back into our set here in the Battery, Atlanta. Of course, Brian Jordan is with me. Very cool to see Ozzie getting involved in the community. He made those kids very happy today.
You know what? I love it. I love when players get involved in the community, and with a great cause, you know, because in today's world, you have to almost speak two languages, really, because Latin America, it's a lot. You gotta learn Spanish and English, and that's something that I worked really hard in college to learn Spanish, because I know how important it is. So it's great to see Albies get out there and read books to the kids.
Yeah, so he has been really doing work off the field. He's been doing some work on the field. Check out his production in the last 7 games, BJ.
You know what? He's starting to figure it out. I mean, I got to give him a lot of credit. Early on with that big leg kick, it takes time. You know, you got to have the perfect timing. You got to read the pitcher and see what kind of patterns they're throwing. And he's finally starting to figure that out, man. He's been unbelievable lately. I love the combination of him and Swanson.
Yeah.
They're starting to figure it out, and they're starting to come together. And, man, they look really well, playing really well together.
Yeah, Ozzie 2 for 3 so far tonight with an RBI. So the youth movement in full effect. Guys, back to you.
You're right about that, Rebecca. And as we head to the top of the 8th inning, 4 different Braves have multi-hit games tonight. And now it's former Rocky farmhand Dan Winkler who's going to come on and pitch.
You know, it hasn't been that long since Ozzie was reading in school for himself.
Well, yeah.
He had people coming and reading to him.
Well, the way my night's going, I might want to sign up for those English classes before we wrap up the series tomorrow. Well, great to see this kid back on the mound. I know he gave up a home run the other night, but with all that Dan Winkler has been through the last couple of years, he is such an incredible story of persistence and faith and courage. He's got a great arm, and he's another guy that I think has a chance to be an under-the-radar candidate to pitch well down the stretch for the Braves and make the club next year. And he's going to have to, otherwise the Braves may have to offer him back to the Rockies. He has not yet erased the needed days to eliminate his Rule 5 status.
Yeah, it's so good to see him here. I still remember that sound last year when I was out there, and that arm. Oh,
that's as bad as it gets. He certainly broke in with the Braves with a bang last year. On opening day against the Nationals, he struck out the side on 11 pitches. 2 games later, he threw a pitch and fractured the medial epicondyle of his right elbow. That was after dealing with Tommy John surgery in 2014.
I remember Ozzie Albies also broke his elbow right at the end of last season. Remember, on a swing, I think it was left-handed
in the playoffs,
in his right elbow, and it took him a little bit of time this year, as it would anybody, to realize it had healed and it was okay.
Rockies signed Dan Winkler out of the University of Central Florida with the 20th round pick they owned in 2011. He spent his first professional season at rookie ball for one of the great minor league team nicknames in baseball, the Casper, Wyoming Ghosts.
Love it.
There you go.
Pitch is high. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
From there, was he promoted to the Yard Goats?
No, not quite. He became a tourist.
Oh, Asheville.
Went to Asheville.
What a place to hit.
Yeah.
Oh,
really?
Oh, ball flies out of that place.
Winkler was a starting pitcher all the way through his minor league career until the Braves got him. 33 wins, 76 starts, a .335 minor league ERA. More than a strikeout per inning pitched. Fewer hits than innings pitched. And he just walked Trevor Story to lead off the 8th inning. Not
lay off that pitch.
Not a good start. Lucroy 0 for 2. He's walked.
It was a good call. I know it was low, but for a guy that's a free swinger and doesn't walk much, that was a pretty good eye by Story. Hey, do you guys know the actor Ben Foster? 3:10 to Yuma.
Great movie.
Charlie Princell. He's been in a lot of other really good movies. He's a fine actor, and there's his twin right there, Jonathan Lucroy.
Excellent call.
Oh, wow.
One ball, no strikes. Runner goes. Lucroy skies it on a play. 1-1 your count.
That was a perfect hit and run count right there.
Some managers don't like to hit and run with nobody out, but Black's pretty unconventional, I think. And I say this as a compliment because he was a pitcher.
Yeah.
He's gonna do things in a very unconventional way offensively.
Stealing this and that. I'm a big fan of the hit and run. I like a hit and run. I like getting people in movement and action.
One ball, one strike. Lucroy didn't get it. It's 1-2.
I've said this for years, Jeff, that I love the hit and run for a guy at the plate that's struggling, because it takes a lot of pressure off what you're trying to do with the baseball. You only got one thing to do, and that's just put it in play and protect the runner.
And a lot of times you end up hitting a chopper that goes through for a hit.
Yeah.
It's kind of the thing that gets you going.
Right.
Oh, I got a hit. Your average goes up.
Tapio waits on deck. And Russin, the Colorado pitcher. First things first, Lucroy with a 1-2 count. And he laid off another close call. 2-2.
Checked with old Ted Barrett down there. Teddy's a big boxer. He'll be watching the fight tonight, I bet.
Yep.
He sparred with Tyson back in the day.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Could have used him in Detroit the other day. They have that cleaned up in about 30 seconds. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Outside, 3-2.
You spar with Tyson for even a round, that'll drive you to umpiring.
That's impressive.
Get a good pitch here from Winkler.
What do you think, Joe? They sending him?
Yep.
Another half step on the lead. He is going. Pitch swung, tipped and caught, and in safely is Story.
Uh-oh, what's home plate umpire calling interference?
Yep.
He's saying that Lucroy interfered with the throw.
So
2 outs.
So Story's going to be out at second base. How about that? You can see it on that replay. Lucroy crossed home plate. And just the slightest graze of the throwing arm of Tyler Flowers is going to give the Braves a huge break, because Story had that bag stolen. So interference turns into a strike him out, call him out, double play.
Huge break.
You can kind of see LaCroix's face sitting there almost like, hit me.
Yeah.
Did you see him looking at him almost?
So that changes the inning. Instead of a runner at second and one out, they're empty. And Raimel Tapia is the hitter. There was no argument from Lucroy on that play. Or from Bud Black.
He's a catcher. Lucroy knows.
That was a big out too with Carlos Gonzalez coming on deck. Even though he's having a down year, you still aren't loving the idea to face him.
Out of play, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Arizona's winning tonight 2-1 over the Giants. That game at Chase Field in Phoenix. Madison Bumgarner and Taijuan Walker, the pitchers in the desert. The pitch is up and away. How about the game in Cincinnati? I don't know if I've remembered or seen a score like the one tonight there. Pittsburgh 1, Cincinnati 0 final at the Great American Ballpark. That was Garrett Cole and Luis Castillo.
Really like,
turned half the lights on.
Really like Castillo when we saw him with the Reds.
Pittsburgh's trying to hang in the Central Division race. They're in 4th place, but 8 back. And high, full count. Dan's had to labor a bit here. Some deep counts, already 1 walk, and you don't want to get to Carlos Gonzalez with 2 outs. He's on deck. The Cubs are clobbering the Phillies 13-2 tonight. Miami and the Padres still tied 1 apiece in the 7th. Cardinals have tied Tampa Bay 4-4 at Busch. That's hit to second. Ozzie waited on the friendly hop. He got it. And the Braves got a big break. Interference by Jonathan Lucroy turned into a double play, and nothing doing for Colorado. 4, 5, and 6 up for the Bravos in a tie game. Home 8th coming up. It's a 4-4 score.
his unique delivery. Now, he told me this goes all the way back to high school. In his final at bat of his senior year, he was hit in the wrist by a pitch, and it blew up a tendon in his arm that controls your fingertips. So that following AAU season, he moved over to shortstop to be able to still play and avoid that pain of throwing from that 3/4 angle. They ended up making it to the championship game that year, and they ran out of pitching and asked him if he could pitch, and he did. And he said he was just throwing for that arm slot, didn't even realize it, and he's done it ever since. He said in college he was throwing in the 90s, so the coaches didn't try to change it. It's working pretty well for him, guys.
I don't know how anybody ever hits this guy. Pat Neshek came over for the Phillies July 26th for 3 minor league players and cash. He's been unscored upon in 7 of 13 games with the Rockies. How do you pick up this guy's release point?
We've said this before, though. He looks like he's about to throw submarine, but he doesn't. He almost comes over the top. It's not, but it looks like it.
These guys are just so funky.
Aren't you surprised more guys don't do it? Especially a left-hander.
Neshek, 2-time All-Star, once with the Cardinals. And this year with the Phillies, he was their lone All-Star this season. Took his 3rd loss August 15th. That was the Nolan Arenado error game, and that one's off the pitcher's glove. Story recovers, throws off stride, no problem. And Kemp's retired on a 1-6-3 play to start the Atlanta 8th.
That was taking a lot of small steps as he got to the bag at first base. Big strides and then shortened it up.
Yeah, he's giving the Braves everything he's got. It's just not as much as he'd like.
There's probably more there than he'll ever let us know about, but he's trying. And as Jeff said earlier, he makes a difference in this lineup when he's in there, and certainly did last night.
2-hit night for Nick Markakis. As I said, one of 4 Braves with a multi-hit game tonight. 2 singles and a run scored for the Braves right fielder. Right there for a strike.
This guy is a terrific weapon. If they get to the postseason and they've got a lead and they're trying to get to Holland, he's a great 7th or 8th inning weapon depending on who he would match up with.
Middle of the Atlanta order tonight. And how does that different look affect you as a hitter from inning to inning? This is as unconventional a delivery as anybody else in the game.
That's the thing he has on you. I mean, don't take anything away. He's got good stuff, but the element of surprise, not seeing that arm angle, it's a huge bonus to have.
High fly ball, right field. And a fan from St. Simons, Georgia, comes away with that souvenir.
I'll be darned.
You know him, Joe?
Yeah, I think he goes to Frederica Academy. How about that? Left-handers have had pretty good luck against Neshek since he joined the Rockies. They're 7 for 18. That's a .389 average. Right-handers only .227. And I don't know this, but I would guess that the left-handers see the ball out of his hand pretty well.
And he gets the right-handers to roll into a double play to finish it off.
Yeah, the right-handers, it's coming from behind you.
to left. Tapia is there to make the play. 2 outs. Tyler Flowers is the hitter. This figures to be 1 and done for Neshek. His spot is due in the 9th. They had Carlos Gonzalez ready to pinch hit if Tapia had gotten on in the 8th inning. Then after the 9 spot, you're back at the top. Blackmon, LeMahieu, Arenado, and Reynolds.
I would imagine we'll see Cargo with Vizcaíno coming in.
Tyler 0 for 3 in the game. And off the plate.
How about hang a little breaking ball to Flo right here?
Well, he's got his star-spangled gloves on, and I think he's hit one somewhere out there by the flagpoles.
Popped up. Lucroy never saw it and then was told, hey, turn around, you can make the play. And he just did. And Neshek gets the Braves in order in the 8th. We go to the fateful 9th. We're all tied up.
Brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Delta Airlines.
There's your score. We head to the 9th inning. And a reminder for you, indie pop group Fits and the Tantrums will be performing a free post-game concert here Saturday, September 23rd, when the Phillies are in town. If you want to enjoy the show up close and personal, get a field pass for just $20. Go to Braves.com/Fits and the Tantrums and get all the details. They're having a great time. Let's hope Arodys Vizcaíno has a great night and gives the Braves a chance to win it in their last at bat.
He's been terrific since he took over in the closer's role. And he's retired 23 of the last 26 batters he's faced. He's 6 for 6 in saves since he took over. In his last 10 games, no runs, 3 hits.
And it will be Carlos Gonzalez batting for Neshek. One ball, no strikes to a very dangerous hitter. I don't care what he's hitting. I don't care what his home run or RBI totals say. This guy can do a lot of damage very quickly. Line drive into center field. That's a moral victory. He kept him in the ballpark.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to get it out, but I was going to say, look at his stance. And we show this replay. Look how far he's standing from the plate. He's basically saying, hey, see if you can throw one outside. He wants to get his arms extended, and that had the center of the plate, center cut, and he nailed it. But he likes to dive back into the plate, and you're right. I said Toscano kept that one in the yard.
So here's Charlie Blackmon. He's a leadoff hitter, but he's a leadoff hitter with 30 home runs and 80 RBIs.
So here's something else that's different about Colorado. Bud Black's the manager. Home or away, they bunt. They have more sacrifice bunts than the Braves. And it's not just pitchers. Blackmon has 3.
Yanked foul. And strike 1 for Charlie Blackmon. 30 homers is a career high. 82 RBIs is his career mark. He's 2 away from that.
I don't know about you, Jeff, but when he first came in the league, I didn't see this coming.
No, not at all.
He's really made himself.
This guy's just gotten better every year.
He has a long look back at the umpire. Didn't like the call.
You know, Bud being a pitching guy, that's get your sack bunt, try to score 1, and then hold on.
And he's got a good closer to come in and protect the lead.
Especially when you got the guys coming up behind you that you got.
One ball, 2 strikes. High fly ball hammered deep right center field. That ball is gone. Charlie Blackmon on a 1-2 count has just hit his 31st home run. He's got the 82 RBIs, and the Rockies now have the lead. The man from Georgia Tech just rambling wrecked the Braves in the 9th inning.
And when he got to 2 strikes, you don't have the guy leading the world in hits try to bunt with 2 strikes.
It's just short and compact.
Over the brick wall and into the Braves bullpen. So the Rockies lead 6-4 in the 9th inning. Nobody out. And here's LeMahieu, who's homered and singled in 4 trips. Can't give him any more. LeMahieu pops it right side. Long run Freeman. Longer run Markakis. And they run out of room.
Charlie Blackmon was born in Dallas, Georgia, but raised in Sewanee.
Yeah, he went to high school right next to where I live, North Gwinnett.
North Gwinnett.
And he's given the Rockies a 2-run lead.
What a year. Talking about MVP candidates.
Yep.
We left him out. Can't do that.
One-two pitch is in the dirt. And action has begun in the Braves bullpen as Vizcaino is laboring in the ninth. Former Rocky Jason Mott. High fly ball left by LeMahieu. Kemp will turn and admire that one. It's in the Rockies bullpen. Back-to-back homers and a 2-homer night for DJ LeMahieu.
Jeff, you said earlier, as a right-handed hitter, you'd rather see a curveball than a slider. Well, he got a slider, but I think it was a big hanger.
Yeah. It's more curveball tilt right there.
And for a guy that hits the ball to right field, he was able to adjust and get the barrel extended.
That's leverage right there.
First career multi-homer game for LeMahieu, who entered tonight's game with 4 homers. He's hit 2 tonight.
Cubs hit 6 homers. I think they're still playing. 2 by Tommy La Stella tonight.
So Vizcaino threw 11 pitches, gave up 3 hits, 2 homers, including the back-to-back shots by Blackmon and LeMahieu. Colorado scores 3 in the ninth. Nobody out. They lead at 7-4.
The Braves and American Cancer Society's new partnership. You can now find 11 sunscreen stations in SunTrust Park to help Braves fans prevent skin cancer. Next time you come to a game, be sure to cover your bases. Visit braves.com/ACS for more details.
Way to go, Rook.
Thank you. I actually need to listen to that because I'm awful putting sunscreen on.
Got to do it, man.
Yep.
Jason Mott, former Rocky, is on for the 39th time. When the Braves were out in Colorado, Jason and his wife made a very generous donation to the Rockies Children's Care Foundation. Jason did something really cool. He invited a whole group of cancer patients to spring training and set them up for the entire day. Jerseys, batting practice, all that stuff. Got them out of the hospital. And his foundation has funded that program for another season in 2018. One of 2 big checks that the Jason Mott Foundation wrote on the road trip. Another one went to the St. Louis Cardinals Care Group, another club for which Jason played.
I used to always knew I'd like Jason. When you go into St. Louis, you know, La Russa kind of had those guys never talking to you. Mott would always wave to me from the bullpen, and he was the only Cardinal. I said, man, this guy must be a nice guy.
All right. He made 2 appearances against his old team out in Colorado. 2 innings total, 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks and a strikeout.
Little tapper. Mott to his right. Scoops and fires a fastball first. That gets Coronado.
He's made that play many times. as a catcher.
Yes.
Running out to get that one when he was still catching.
I'll tell you, Jason, you know, obviously being a closer in St. Louis for a while like he was, he'll be the first to tell you, you know, what happened to this guy, you know, tonight. You know, Jim struggled a little bit. Pitching the 9th inning is not easy. There's a reason those closers make as much as they do.
When you went to the mound and pitched with the Phillies, did that, I'm being serious, did that increase your appreciation for what relief pitchers have to do?
Oh, especially after I pitched 1 inning and sat down for 15 minutes and tried to go back out there for the 2nd. You know, it's a tough gig. I remember, you know, we talked about it earlier, Jose Ramirez. I remember a 2-3 span earlier in the year where they kind of gave him an opportunity and he didn't pitch good in the 9th. And then they put him back in the 8th and he dealt.
Yeah.
It's a different mentality.
No balls and a strike for Mark Reynolds. The Rockies with 3 in the 9th. First home run allowed by Arodys Vizcaino since July 1st. And he allowed 2 of them back-to-back. First multi-homer game for DJ LeMahieu. As Reynolds didn't get it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. In the Braves' 9th, Albie, Swanson, and the pitcher's spot are scheduled. Vizcaino and Neshek to this point are the pitchers of record as Reynolds almost went to 2 knees. He's lucky he didn't hurt himself with that hack.
I'm not sure he didn't. That hurts to land on your knee that way.
To his defense, Mott did the old quick pitch right there.
So that pitch shocked the sheriff.
You think he's getting made fun of in the dugout right now?
Yeah.
Now we'll see if Jason can get his deputy, Gerardo Parra, who scored 2 runs tonight. Strike 1. They're in the 9th inning in Miami. Marlins 1, San Diego 1. The Cardinals came back and beat Tampa Bay 6-4. Arizona's winning 2-1 at home to the Giants. Milwaukee and the Dodgers, no score in the 4th.
You look up there and see Cleveland 4-0. That's 2 shutouts in a row for them. They're getting hot at the right time.
Yeah, Baltimore's not to be discounted either. They got a great outing tonight from Kevin Gausman, who I like a lot. He went 7 2/3 and combined on a shutout, beat Boston 7-0 in Boston.
1 ball, 1 strike. Big news for the Dodgers tonight. Joe handed me a note. Clayton Kershaw made a rehab start. I think it was 5 innings of 8 strikeout ball for Clayton Kershaw. A swing and a miss by Parra. It's 2-2.
The real question is, if you're those minor league guys, what kind of spread you getting after the game in AAA from Clayton?
Oh, probably a real good one.
Yeah. I remember that's when you're in the minors and a big league guy came down to rehab. That was the best part. What are we getting to dinner?
That is bounced foul past first.
I think I heard some really good stories from those guys that played with Michael Jordan in Birmingham too.
Oh,
their bus.
Yeah, they bought a bus.
Yeah.
Terry Francona was the manager of that Birmingham
was
team
he?
that year. Yeah. And Michael Jordan didn't exactly fit in the buses that they were using at the time. So
he just bought a bus.
He just said, well, might as well help out the Birmingham club. Back in those days, the Southern League road trips were really rough. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that's lined into right field by Parra. 2-out single. The worst one was Orlando to Memphis. That was a nice 16-hour bus ride. And you can imagine Michael Jordan, all 6'6", 6'7" of him, knees and elbows crouched or cramped into one of those rows trying to get a place to sleep. That's why he bought the bus.
I remember in Low A one year we had 2 or 3 big guys come down, and we were getting steak. Like one night we got king crab legs or lobster tails. And, you know, we were riding a nice streak there, and then, you know, pretty well-known guy comes down, and we had pizza, Domino's.
Domino's?
And I'm telling you what, man, the rest of the year, we pulled for him to get out every time he came up to the plate. Domino's. That's what you're coming with?
What was meal money back then? Is that when ricochets off Flowers and over by the bat boy who opened the door? He just decided to grab the baseball.
That's like letting the bull out of the chute.
Yep. It's a wild pitch.
That's good defense right there by him.
He's just not used to seeing a live ball come rocketing toward him over there off the shin guard.
He probably actually saved us a base.
Could have.
One ball, no strikes. What was meal money at Double-A?
Oh man, well, single A. I remember when I was in Rome, I literally think we got like $10 a day.
$10 a day. One ball, two strikes. Well, it's like being back in college, man. You go to the Steerburger special on Sunday after you find all the coins in the couch that you lost during the week.
We had tons of Waffle House.
$3.95 in the salad bar, man. You're living in tall cotton. One ball, two strikes for Trevor Story. 7-4 Rockies. And 2-2. Three balls, two strikes. Want to thank our great statistician upstairs, the incomparable Jared Burleson, tonight for all of his hard work. He's always been #1 in my book. 7-4 game. And ball four. Mott in a catcher's crouch, thought he had Story struck out.
Jared's enthusiasm is what really drives it up here.
Let's see if Mott had an argument right there at the bottom point of the strike zone.
He's still barking. So Lucroy's up. A hit and a walk after 2 are out. Strike one. That's bounced to first. Freddie backpedals. Mott will cover the bag, and he'll make the play, and that retires the side. A wild pitch, a little help from the home team's bat boy. Check this out. Nice save. Go to the home ninth.
Big league.
As we head to the bottom of the 9th, and be sure to stick around after the game because I, myself, and Brian Jordan, we will have post-game covered for you. Kelsey Wingert will have a reaction from inside the clubhouse. We'll hear from manager Brian Snitker, and we'll talk about another impressive night from Swanson and Albies.
The young guys continue to get it done from the 7th and 8th spot in this lineup. I love watching these rookies. They are starting to come along. Unfortunately, though, the 9th inning, not so good for the Braves.
Yeah, we'll break that down, too. We hope to see you right after the game, guys.
Okay, Rebecca, thank you very much. But maybe it's the right guy at the right time, as Carlos Gonzalez will take over in right field for Colorado. It's Greg Holland, the Colorado closer, who's converted 36 of 40 saves. You see the all-time Rockies saves leaders in a single season. However, Holland is really in a big slump since June 15th, 2-5, a 6.65 ERA.
The pride of the Western Carolina Catamounts.
Wow, and 4 blown saves. The Braves need 3 to tie tonight. Ozzie Albies leads off. Albies has a triple, a double, a run, and an RBI this evening. No strike.
Typically a lot of sliders. Fastball 92 to 94. He also has a curveball. This last year with Tommy John surgery, and they took a chance on him, and he's been terrific until lately.
His velocity's kind of dipped. I think that's been a little bit of a concern.
Well, Bud Black said to Joe before the game, they just need a win.
Yeah.
If Ozzie tweaks something with that swing. Remember, it was the right elbow, as Joe said. And on an 0-2 count, he guides a single right field for a 3-hit game.
What a good night. Slider, his bread and butter, didn't do anything. Stayed right in the middle of the plate. So Jeff, if his velocity's down and his slider's not breaking, no wonder he's scuffling.
Yeah, you know, I got a chance to play with him in Kansas City, obviously, for those 2 years when he was just lights out. But, you know, there's a difference when you're throwing 92 at that slider and 95, 96. Guys can make adjustments.
Dansby's got a 2-hit night. He's scored a run and driven home a run. He's also walked. He's up to 227. And in for a strike. Hollanday's kind of an interesting delivery. I'd love to get your thoughts on it, guys. He does not stride directly toward the plate. It's almost like his left shoulder is going toward the Braves on deck circle. So you get a real good look at the uniform lettering as he delivers the ball. Fly ball center. Pretty well hit, but playable for Blackmon. And there's the first out. And my question is, kind of like a hitter that pulls off the ball, it's almost like he pulls off his pitch. Would that have an effect on his slider and its depth? You
know, it might now, but, you know, I watched him for 2 years when he was arguably the best closer in the game up there in Kansas City, and he did the same. It's the exact same thing. He's done it. I just, you know, I've known Greg for a long time, and I truly believe that, you know, he's a little fatigued right now, and sometimes you can get through that, and you got to pitch through it. But, you know, like I said, when he's going good, he's closer to 94, 95, not 92.
And your first year back from that kind of surgery, it's pretty easy to get fatigued.
Absolutely.
Matt Adams grabs a bat. Runner at first, 1 out. And didn't get it.
You know, another thing people forget is 2 years in a row he pitched all the way to November in the World Series. I remember in 2008, remember Cole Hamels threw 262 innings. When they won the World Series in 09, he wasn't breaking 90.
Sure makes you appreciate what the big three did year after year after year after year. And others for that matter. No balls and a strike. That's down to his last swing. 0-2 the count. Marlins and Padres go to the 10th, tied 1 apiece. No balls, 2 strikes. High fly ball, deep right center. Cargo back, track, wall, it's gone.
Boy, has he been something off the bench. Doesn't that tie him for some pinch hit home run record? Another slider, it looked like, right in the center of the plate. That one had a little bit of dip, but not enough. Boy, didn't he pick up his front foot, did he?
That's 8 pinch hit homers for the Braves. The team record is 10, set 7 years ago. It's a 1-run game, 1 out, and now the Braves top of the order's coming up.
He was tied for the most pinch hit home runs since he came into the big leagues in 2012, and now he's taken the lead with his 9th. What a weapon he is.
Oh. A base hit by Ender. And you know what the Rockies fans are saying now? Here we go again. You know what the Braves fans are saying? Here we go again. 7th, 8th, and 9th innings have been some of the most productive innings for the Braves this year. And they've scored twice in the 9th and have the tying run aboard.
Ender's speed. Remember, he tried to bunt his last time up. That had Arenado in on the edge of the grass. And Ender able to slap one right by him.
Those last 2 pitches he threw were both 95.
And he's going to take Holland out of the game. Bud Black is going to his bullpen. The Rockies closer struggles continue. 2 runs, 3 hits. The Braves aren't dead yet, with Brandon Phillips coming up. Makes it a 1-run game. Ender Inciarte followed with a base hit that has chased Greg Holland. And now Jake McGee is on to try to finish things off for the Rockies.
This guy's tough too. Mid to high 90s fastball, occasional slider, occasional curve. He's one of those guys that I say all the time, who cares what comes after 94 to 97.
He's 30 years old. The Rockies got him from Tampa Bay in January of last year. He played for the U.S. in the World Baseball Classic. Ranks first in Tampa Bay Rays history in strikeouts and wins as a relief pitcher. He's got a mess on his hands now.
I'll tell you, if Brandon can find a way to get on here, it'll make things real interesting.
It will be fun. I'd like him to get on for about 5 seconds and hit a home run. The Braves could walk off. Strike one for Phillips, who has 2 singles and 2 strikeouts. He's been clutch all year. He's got a big gap in left center. And he chased a high fastball, 0-2. Brandon Phillips' 3rd inning RBI was a thing of beauty. A laser over first that kissed the chalk down the right field line. And scored Dansby Swanson. Wouldn't mind the same kind of play here with Ender at first base, but he's down 2 strikes. Ground ball hit toward short. Second base 1, first base 2, and the Rockies hang on and beat the Braves in game 2 of the series. Jake McGee gets a game-ending double play off the bat of Brandon Phillips, and despite Matt Adams' towering 2-run homer, the Braves fall a run short and settle for a split in the first 2 games of the series. Fellas, 7-6 tonight's final score.
An unusual outing for Arodys Vizcaino. He's been so good. I guess he was due to have a tough outing, and the Rockies' home run ball came back to haunt.
Yeah, you talk about Vizcaino. He had an off night. You look at Holland, their closer. He ends up getting pulled. He's been their all-star closer. It happens. I see Vizky coming back, and if he's got 2 tomorrow and getting it 1, 2, 3.
Well, hopefully he'll have ace stuff. Hopefully Mike Foltynewicz will have ace stuff. It's been a struggle for Mike lately, and the series victory is on the line here tomorrow afternoon. Series tied a game apiece, 7-6 tonight's final score. For Joe Simpson, Kelsey Winker, Jeff Francoeur, and the rest of our great Fox Sports crew, stay tuned. Braves Live, presented by Xfinity, is coming up right after the break.